Today on an all-new Dr. Phil.
John is very controlling.
A show about bossy husbands.
Why are you better than me? No.
You know you're going to have to let me say something.
That's not accurate, sir.
Gets out of hand.
You're going to have to let me finish, John.
But see...
John!
A guest tries to control the other guests.
No offense to you personally, but there's a time to shut up.
No, when you're talking about injustice, it's not a time to shut up.
The producers.
You have a dishonest staff. I have been lied to.
I don't appreciate you calling my staff liars.
And even Dr. Phil.
You are dishonest. You should go to Guantanamo Bay, where the other psychologists are torturing prisoners.
You may bully her with that, but you ain't going to bully me with it, my friend. This is going to be a changing day in your life.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
It matters to you. That's what I want to talk about. Are you ready in the booth? Let's do it. The topic of today's show is, well, actually, before I tell you, let me just bring out the guest. Why don't we do that? Kia, could you please bring out the guest?
All right, guys, let's go. Let's go. Quickly. Make a left. Sit right here. You sit in the first seat. You sit in the third seat. Well, actually, that was wrong. I said you sit in the first seat. You sit in the third seat. Sit. Great. Fantastic. Now stand. Let's go. Time to go to the stage. Quickly. You walk in front of him. Let's go. Quickly. No talking. Walk lightly. You go in front of him. Let's go. Let's go. Quickly. You're walking pretty slow. Quickly.
How you doing, Dr. Phil?
Great.
Jim, how are you?
All right.
Turn around. Face the stage.
John, how are you? Well, Jim and John are here. Would you say that Kia was a tad bit bossy?
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, don't feel sorry for these guys yet. This doesn't even compare to what their wives say they're currently putting them through. So let's just start with Jim.
I am a controlling husband. I like it that way.
Jim has controlled me for the 15 years that he and I have been together.
I need to know where my family is at all times.
Jim uses the GPS to track us. He likes to know where everyone is, what they're doing, whom they're doing it with, and expects to be reported to.
I text my wife to find out if she got to work on time. I text her to find out when she's going to lunch. I freak out really bad when I don't know where they're at. They look good.
You know, the heels hurt my feet.
I know, but you're not going to be wearing them that long. You'll be sitting down eating anyways.
Jim has told me what clothes to wear, what shoes he wants me to wear, how he'd like me to do my hair, how he'd like me to do my makeup, and how much I should eat.
Well, I go shopping for all my wife's clothes. I wash all of her clothes. I set her clothes out for her. I've told my wife how to style her hair, and my behavior is definitely out of control. I don't know how to stop it. I can't sleep sometimes because I'm thinking about the next day of what I've got to do to stay on top of everything. My wife, Michelle, wants to leave. She can't take it anymore.
I've told Jim I've wanted to get divorced because I'm tired of the roller coaster ride.
When I don't know every little detail, it drives me crazy. I don't know how to stop being a control freak.
You wrote in because you say you've had all of this that you can take.
Right.
And you're serious about that?
Extremely serious.
Okay.
Serious as a heart attack.
Yeah. And tell me why. 15
years is a long time. And I can't see spending another 15 years doing this. And I don't want to set this type of example for my children.
Okay. Now, John and Sally are here also. You were just talking back and forth here, and I heard you say...
And we were saying that we love each other.
Yeah, well, no, actually, what I heard you say is you're getting ready to walk out of here.
No, what I said, first of all, and once again, please don't selectively hear, but what I said was
well,
that...
Don't tell me what to hear.
No, because what you just did was you selectively told the audience what I said. First of all, what I told my wife was that I love her. And then, you know, Dr. Phil, I have been lied to. And over the phone, over the interviews, coming here, there has been several lies told to me. And as a psychologist who is honest and authentic, to a certain extent, and by the way, I'm very authentic, to a certain extent, you should be ashamed of the type of program that you have ran, because I have been lied to. And I'm very disappointed.
Who was it
in
that lied to you?
Kia has lied to me. There's been some stories, some things that said would not be shared, and now I learned they are going to be shared.
You've also talked to Astra, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
sir.
well, let's have Kia and Astra come out.
Okay.
I have the absolute best staff in television. And when you call
And I
them a
need
liar
help.
on national television,
And I need
they're
help.
going to talk to you.
No, I said that you have a dishonest staff. And some, are we perfect as humans?
Of course not. They're not.
Can they omit certain things? Yes, they can.
Well,
I'm a human
y'all
being
come on
too.
out.
And
Okay, this is Astra.
Yes,
Please say hello
Astra.
to Astra. Have
Hi,
y'all
Astra.
actually met in person?
yes,
You know when you got here? This is Astra. This is Kia.
and they're both two wonderful people.
Well, actually, you say they're liars. So tell me what.
No, now wait a second. You're
Tell me what
generalizing.
Astra says you lied.
Yeah.
What you say Astra lied about?
Well, what I would like to say, and since we're talking about it, is that there's a friend that I have, and he has back problems. Lots of times he's on medication. Lots of times he doesn't think straight. I was told this morning, lo and behold, he's on standby on the phone. He's going to be, and Kia, you even apologized about that for not telling me that.
It's not that I didn't tell you. It was clearly some kind of a miscommunication because he was always part of the show.
Well,
we were
then-
originally
well,
flying
no, because-
him here.
because- yeah,
we were
remember-
flying him
The
here.
issue is, John, you went back and forth so many different times. Like
Yes, I did, sir.
Let's just keep it real.
Yes,
Because
I
you
did.
said you wanted to do the show, then you changed your mind, and then you gave us your word, and you said you have our word, and then you changed your mind. You went
Yes.
back and forth 50 million times.
And yes,
so
I
of
did,
course, there's some
Doctor.
miscommunication
Well, and I
because
wouldn't
you
say-
always knew that Tom was on the show.
Yeah, but you have
And
to
we
understand.
appreciate you being
Yes.
here, by the way. What I don't appreciate
And
is
Dr.
calling my staff liars, because they're not.
This is what I don't like about Hollywood and the mass media is it's not real, folks. This is not real. This is so selective. Our past goes back 20 years, and I was a government whistleblower. I was persecuted. I had death threats. I had hate mail, and this was a time that I met my wife, and we were forced to go out of state. We were forced to make our lives over again. We bought a mobile home that didn't even have a floor in it. That's how poor, because I had to flee government persecution because I followed my conscience. I tried to commit my life to nonviolence, to peace, and to love. And we had to start over again, and it's been so difficult. What I want to say, though, is I took her away from her family. On top of that, Dr. Phil, I have come to realize I have neglected her. And that's mental abuse. I have neglected her. I have neglected her. And I admit to that.
You said he denies that he's controlling, and he says Dr. Phil needs to go work with the homeless or get a real job.
Yes, and let me respond to
and
that.
we don't need to, because I'm talking,
no,
and I
sir,
didn't. Let me
that was
finish.
an unfair statement. That was an unfair statement
Well, she
I made.
made it. I didn't make it. She made it.
Yeah, but I did make it, and it was unfair. It was a biased statement.
That's okay. I have
I know you do a lot of good.
I have a BA, an MA, a PhD, and postdoctoral work in forensic psychology.
Yes.
So
And
I
I've
know
worked in
who
the
I am,
refugee
and I
camp in
don't need you. And I
Guatemala.
don't
I
need
was
your.
involved in the U.S.
And I don't need
invasion
your
of
approval
Panama.
about that. But here's let me finish. Let me finish.
Yes, I have a master's too,
I'm proud of you for that.
and I'm proud of your degrees too, sir.
But
Weren't we
no.
starting with that
No,
couple?
no.
I thought we took
No,
away
they're
from
fine. They're learning from this. They're learning from this. Trust me. Listen. Here's what I know, and if you're honest,
Yes, sir.
you'll hear this. When you're in a situation where you feel like it's kind of spinning out of control or you're losing control, then fear can make you aggressive. I'm on your side, and I'm the best friend you got in this room, whether you know it or whether you don't. She is in trouble here. She has reached out for some help, and if you will take the help, you guys can be happy and enjoy your lives and do a good job. But if you don't, then this is going to run off in the ditch. And she is reaching out for help. You truly want help, right?
Yes.
And she doesn't want to throw you under the bus. She's just saying, come on, I need some help here.
And that's why I'm here. We've been through four marriage counselors, and things have not got any better. And this is, and we both told each other, if it doesn't work here, we're divorcing. We don't want that.
Well, listen, and I'm not surprised you've been through 4 marriage counselors, because I suspect you are a pretty tough horse to ride.
Well, wait a second.
Sorry?
Each counselor we're only with a few times.
Yeah,
Well,
sometimes.
I would suspect that's true, but
Well,
you're not
hold on,
gonna,
let me say this.
But you're not going to run me out.
Oh, and I'm not.
'Cause I
But
wanna
once
help
again,
you.
Don't run me out either, because
No,
I'm a
not.
human being too. And you need to
I've
honor
shut
me.
everything
Yes.
down and sat
Yeah.
down to talk to you.
What I'm saying is sometimes I like the marriage counselor, she doesn't. Sometimes she likes the marriage counselor, and I don't. And like, for example, the last time when we left the counseling room, the marriage, and he's a psychologist, the marriage counselor got up and he went, woo, as we walked out, you know.
I
And I
bet.
thought, oh my God, you know,
Probably be doing
woo.
the same
Yeah, so
thing.
Yeah, no,
let me tell you, Dr. Phil, if you can help us, I don't want to say you can walk on water, but you're a miracle.
Well-
We need to slow down. I
Okay,
think.
yes.
Okay,
Okay, John.
but let me just tell you something. I'm not a water walker. I've tried it, and it won't work. I'll tell you what I am. I'm just an old country boy from Texas that trades on a lot of common sense. And I know anxiety when I see it. I know get them before they get me when I see it.
Well, and that's
I know
that's your perception.
That's right. And
I'm a man of integrity and honesty and authenticity.
Didn't say you weren't.
And, well, yeah.
Didn't
but,
say you weren't.
Yeah, but I think in a roundabout way, you
haven't watched this show much, have you?
no, I have not.
Because I've been called a lot of things, but roundabout ain't one of them.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you straight. I'll
And
tell
let me
you
tell
straight
I
up.
will never dehumanize you. That's
Yeah.
I will never call you a name.
Well,
We need to move forward here.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Okay, we need
see,
to-
she's being bossy right now. See what I'm saying? Oh, I'm sorry.
no,
What
I
I'm
know
saying
you're
is up there
kidding.
should have been
Listen,
bossy husbands and
I know
wives,
you're
so.
kidding when you say that, but I tell you what she's doing is she's saying, please don't blow this.
Oh, I don't
Calm
want to blow
down,
it.
take a deep breath, and then let's
But I
deal
am
with this.
calm. This is who I am, and
I
life.
hope that's not true.
Yeah, maybe that's part of the problem. But life is passionate.
Yeah.
Life is passionate.
Okay, well, we're not going to quit on you.
Okay.
Okay, and you want to slow down a little bit, right?
Yes.
So let's everybody just take a deep breath. We're going to take a break, and I'm going to chat with this couple up here.
We
We'll
can
be right back.
Disagree. Okay.
No offense to you personally, but there's a time to shut up. And sometimes he doesn't
When you're
shut
talking
up.
about injustice, it's not a time to shut up.
Let me say to both of you,
But I'm not going to be dehumanized,
No.
sir.
and later, listen, you're
I
going to
said that
listen to
I like-
me because
I
I
like
don't need to be
solitude.
lectured by you about world
But-
peace.
but if
You
you-
don't know
if you
me,
lie, sir,
and
you
don't
do.
you presume to make judgments about me, and
But
don't
you're
call,
making judgments about me.
No, I'm not. Don't call me a liar because of something your wife said. Now, you may bully her with that, but you ain't going to bully me with it, my friend.
No, I'm not bullying you.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil. She's set a wedding date.
She's booked a venue, a photographer, even a limo.
There's just one problem.
She doesn't have a groom.
Is it bad luck to choose the dress before I choose the groom?
This sounds crazy. Is it working?
And he's had 47 cosmetic procedures.
I've never wanted to look natural.
If you knew before that first surgery what you now know, would you still have gone down this path?
Then on Friday,
What's the most you've ever spent on a dress?
Over $8,000.
competing for the child pageant title.
Does it bother you to dress these little girls up?
That's Friday.
Mike would like to control all of my life.
I don't think control is a bad thing.
He used to pick out my hair color and dye my hair. Mike draws my baths and tells me that I need to take a bath. Mike is in charge of our prayer life. He sets up where we sit to pray, what time we're praying. Living in the situation I'm in right now, I feel I have to have alcohol to cope.
Cindy absolutely uses me as an excuse for drinking. I'm overbearing, I'm controlling,
You get that you treat her like a child?
because she wants to be.
Have you tried to control what she's going to talk about on this show?
I would say that yes.
Is this marriage going to work if he continues to do this?
He has to accept me and not try to change me.
Well, that was a clip from a past show, You're Not the Boss of Me. Now, Jim here emailed me right away after watching the couple on that episode. True? That was
I
the
did,
couple that
right
you
after
saw.
that show.
You watched our exchange down here. Did you see yourself in any of this?
I did. I see the controlling ways, the bossy ways, and that's what I'm trying not to get to.
Did you see a dynamic here that is similar and on the screen and here?
Yeah, it was amazing how similar it was, and no offense to you personally, but there's a time to shut up. And sometimes he doesn't.
When you're talking about injustice, it's not a time to shut up.
Okay, and let me say to both of you,
but I'm not going to be dehumanized, sir.
I'm sorry,
John.
Let me say to both of you. I've said before, I don't care how flat you make a pancake, it's got two sides.
Right.
And I have no doubt that you are not a perfect wife in this. I have no doubt that you're not a perfect wife in this. And you guys aren't all bad, evil guys. I mean, there are two sides to all of this. But, Jim, let me talk about some of the things you said. She says that you'll call her every hour at her job to keep tabs on her. That you insist that she take her lunch break with you, that you pick her clothes, you pick her hairstyle, you tell her when to socialize, you track her whereabouts via a phone and computer system, that you parent as a single parent because you refuse to get her input, you choose the kids' studies at school, you choose after-school activities. The three kids run everything by you because you're just kind of out of the loop at this point. You controls the spending and her paycheck, make her doctor's appointment, pick what vitamins for her to take. I mean, it just goes on. You set food and diet habits. You've taken over all the cooking. You check her Facebook account. You've persuaded your 16-year-old to sign up for the Marines. You've told her when you'll move, where you'll live, how the money will be spent. I mean, you're feeling really crowded here. Would you like to know what he wrote to us? Do you have it?
I have it.
Read some of it for us. I wanted to hear what you said.
Okay. It says, Dear Dr. Phil, hello, I've just watched your show today, January 3rd, 2011, about a controlling spouse. I am that spouse, unfortunately. I've been off from work with a back injury since January of 2010 and have had 3 back surgeries. I have always made the decisions for our household with some input from my wife, but I take the responsibility as a protector and provider. My wife is smart, and I love her very much. She has said she thinks I am suffering from anxiety, but I'm not sure. I feel so out of control, even though I control both the lives of my kids and of her. I really want help to be able to make them all happy and want to be around me being happy. My kids and I get along fine, but my wife is suffering. I don't want to lose her. My family is everything. Please help me. I'm scared and want to be less controlling of her. We used to get along so great, and I know God sent her for me. Please tell me how to fix me.
Are you surprised that he's got that much insight into this?
Extremely surprised and totally unexpected.
How do you feel about what he said?
It's a mixture of emotions because I'd been telling him for years that he needed to change his ways or we were not going to last long. And there's always been so many things that I've told him that either a therapist or a friend or somebody would come by and tell him, and all of a sudden it's a revelation. And here it happens again. He watches you and it's a revelation on something that I've already told him. So.
But here's the problem with this, and it's not an issue for you yet because you're quite a young man. But as we get older, our energy and ability to control everything, we just don't have it. We don't have the energy. And so it starts, all these balls we've got in the air, a few of them start dropping.
Right.
Because we just get fatigued. We run out of gas. We run out of energy. But the problem is you're fixing a psychological issue with an environmental control, and that doesn't work. You've got to deal with psychological issues psychologically. And we'll be right back. What you've just said is incredibly outrageous.
And what you just showed was incredibly outrageous.
Okay.
Why
John,
are you better than me?
Let me finish.
Where's equality at? We're here.
You're going to have to let me finish, John.
Yeah, but see,
John. And later.
I'm sorry, y'all. I know y'all came here. You know, you paid your ticket. But this is such a fair and inaccurate representation. It really is.
You're not going to be able to calm him down right now. I'm going to have to talk to him.
Okay. Well, I'm here with Sally now. She says that her husband, John, is so controlling that she spends most of her day picking up dust bunnies from the floor and only speaking when it's allowed. Now, I'm going to tell you here, we're going to report what you say. And if you want to clarify anything or debate anything, we can do that. But let's take a look at what you've had to say.
John is very controlling.
I think that control is a matter of perception.
There's certain things that are must-dos every day. Cleaning the pool, sweeping the driveway, the floor in the house needs to be swept, rugs need to be shook, dishes need to be done. He looks around, and I sometimes feel like he's looking for fault. I feel like I'm walking on eggshells, and I feel like I'm constantly trying to please John.
Whenever Sally accuses me of being too organized or obsessive-compulsive disorder, I just tell her, well, you know, cleanliness is next to godliness.
John does not like noise in the house.
I love a quiet home.
When John's on the computer, I'm not really allowed to talk to him. I can say good morning. After John finishes the computer, he exercises in solitude. He likes to be alone.
I think society would consider me a very, very strict parent.
John mandates a 9 p.m. curfew Sunday through Thursday for our 2 adult sons.
My sons are age 21 and 22.
This is the family calendar we have hanging on the wall, and here are a couple times that my husband put on here, don't make plans, don't make plans. I thought maybe we were going to go out, but instead they just want everybody home for the night. It just feels like a power play. John's control has really done a lot of damage in our marriage. I very much feel like I turn to food because it is the one thing I can control. It's a decision I can make, and he's not going to stop me. If John doesn't change, I'm very close to leaving.
Okay. Fair representation of how you feel.
I don't want to leave.
That was not really a fair representation. Well, let me please, if you all would give me a chance. We live in a city that is 88% economically disadvantaged. And the crime rate, we have a 40% dropout. Let me finish. We have a 40% dropout rate. Please, just give me a chance. We have a 40% dropout rate in our high school. And they have formed gangs. And there's stabbings, there's drive-by shootings. And I want my sons, I want my sons safe and sound. Now they're living with us. But see, that's not true, because what you did was you doctored that up. There's lots of times where my sons go out during the weekday, and they may stay out till 12 or 1 at night.
Okay, you cannot filibuster here.
Well, no, I'm just trying to point out what is accurate,
Okay.
and that was not accurate.
Okay,
you are dishonest.
No.
You should go to Guantanamo Bay, where the other psychologists are torturing prisoners.
Okay.
Let's calm down.
No, that's, I'm telling you, please, this is not accurate. This is not accurate.
Okay,
And they're
John.
portraying
John,
me
hold on.
very inaccurate.
Okay, John,
And
stop
can you-
for a minute.
can you
John,
mention
John,
that?
come
Give somebody
on.
else a chance to talk.
Come on now, let me help you here.
Yeah, but you've already had a chance to talk with all these real showy
Here,
images.
come on. Come on.
Real showy images. And we think with images as a society.
Okay, John, you're going to, at some point, you're going to have to let me say something.
Sure.
Okay, I mean, give me the respect to letting me respond here. Now, what you've just said is incredibly outrageous.
And what you just showed was incredibly outrageous.
Okay.
Why are you
John,
better than me?
Let me finish.
Where's equality at?
Okay, John, let me
We're here
finish.
for a marriage, okay?
Let me
Let's
finish.
focus.
Well, evidently not. We're
No,
here
you're
to...
going to have to let me finish, John.
Yeah, but see...
Look, John, come on. Now, listen, you can't filibuster here.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's okay. It's okay.
Have you
What-
walked in my shoes?
You're gonna have to let me talk here. What we just showed was your wife. I didn't say any of that. She said that. And I asked her after I played the tape, is this a fair representation of what you said?
Is it?
I think it is. Now, I just feel like... May I say something?
Let her finish, yeah.
I think we need to get back to the point that we're here for us. We're not here for you to argue with him or about your global view.
But see,
We're
this
here
is
for us.
this is a disagreement we have.
I
It's
know,
not
but
an
you're
argument.
creating.
John, we don't have a
But you're
disagreement.
creating.
Once again, you're taking things out of context. And you know, well, hold
I
on.
feel like the mediator now.
And you know, as Americans, boy, we really love entertainment, don't we? While we're fighting two wars that are destroying our country and drawing us deeper into debt.
Okay,
Now,
look.
now let me just say this.
No, listen, you're
I
going to
said that
listen to me because I don't need to be
solitude.
lectured by you about world peace.
but
You
if you-
don't know
if you
me,
lie, sir,
and
you
don't
do.
you presume to make judgments about me. And don't
But you're
call,
making judgments about me.
No, I'm not. Don't call me a liar because of something your wife said. Now you may bully her with that, but you ain't going to bully me with it, my friend.
No, I'm not bullying anybody, sir.
You need to understand that right now. You are here for your marriage. I'm trying to get you, John, at some point, you've got to be willing to take a step back and say, you know what? I'm getting too intense here,
So
and I
you-
need
are you-
to focus on what's important to my wife.
You're dealing with real human beings. You're dealing with somebody who has been, you know, who has just been really beaten down by the government.
All right, well,
You
we're
really
going to
have,
take a
and
break.
it's-
We'll be
it's
right
not-
back. John, at some point, now don't turn away from me. Talk to me. That's disrespectful. At some
Well,
point,
maybe I was thinking. See, you misinterpreted my actions.
you've got to say, you know what? I'm willing to hear what my wife has to say.
And by the way, I'm sorry, y'all. I know y'all came here. You know, you paid your ticket, but this is such a fair and an accurate representation. It really
You're
is.
not going to be able to calm him down right now. I'm going to have to talk to him.
Okay. Would you like to go off stage and
Yes,
talk
I
to
need
him?
to go talk to him.
You know, John, at some point, now don't turn away from me. Talk to me. That's disrespectful. At some
Well,
point,
maybe I was thinking. See, you misinterpreted my actions.
at some point, you've got to say, you know what? I'm willing to hear what my wife has to say.
Can I get in between you two for a minute? I need
Sure.
him to look at me.
Okay, you want to go off stage
Yes,
for a minute?
please.
Okay, y'all can do that.
Okay, yes, sir.
Okay, let's go. Okay. All right.
Okay. Now, let me tell you what I would like to say to John and what I want to say to Jim. And I felt like that you and John, for that matter, were trying to control emotions by controlling things outside yourself. Now, I have here a letter from your son.
Right.
And let me first say, y'all have raised a very intelligent young man, a very articulate young man, a very thoughtful young man that is hurting for the two of you a lot. He's missing you both a lot. He is struggling with the conflict between you a lot. And he's hoping that I will help you a lot because he sees this all slipping away. And so he wrote me this letter, which y'all gave me. Thank you. And you haven't read this letter. With his permission, I'm going to give it to you, but only if he gives me permission to give it to you. What has to happen here is you've got to do something that men have a hard time doing. You know, if men deal with emotion, they read that as weakness. You know, if you have a need, if men say, I've got a need, that it's a weakness. But that's not true. Right now, you're in a life situation that has your self-esteem really low, which is why you fear she's going to leave you. And I strongly believe what I fear, I create. If you fear it, you'll create it by overreacting to it. You don't have a big problem here. I told you to when you were up here, this is one of those relationships that can be fixed, and it can be fixed in a fast hurry. But you're experiencing a real anxiety disorder, and you need help with that. And you don't need medication. You need to learn to calm yourself. You need to learn to quiet yourself. You need to learn to take a chance that without making people do what you want them to do, that they will still stay around. And I can give you the skill sets to control that. And give this 90 days, and you're going to see a very different dynamic in your family and your marriage. Can you do that? Because we'll start working on this right away.
Thank you.
In your town. We'll be right back. Well, we're back with John and Sally after taking a break, and I'm going to do this a little differently. I'm just going to answer questions. How can I help either one of you?
Wow.
Thank you.
We need some communication help. We need some self-esteem help. We need some control help.
I'd like to say a couple things. I have neglected my wife. And a lot of the things that she does, a lot of things we do, it's because I have neglected her over these last years. When we had to move, when we moved away from family, we're trying to get back closer. But I have completely neglected my wife. I have abandoned her. And a lot of the things that I see now where she's reached out for help, I was too busy writing, I was too busy working, I was too busy doing this. I have not been a friend. I have completely neglected her. And it's not necessarily about bossy husbands or about control. I have high expectations. And if she doesn't, let me tell you, my wife keeps the cleanest house in the world. And what happens is when I come home, if there's something on the floor, if the rug needs shook, then I'll shake that. She feels like I'm undermining her job at home, that I'm trying to one-upmanship. And so there's some problems there. Sally, she's put on some weight lately, and it's really distorted her view. And whereas I try to look at things very optimistically in the world, she looks at things pessimistically. But all along during this time, and I think maybe that's where the food comes in. All along, I have neglected her. Like she would want to go out and do things. She would want to do this. I wouldn't have time. And I have completely neglected my wife.
Do you have a question that I can...
Yeah, the question is, what can I do not to be neglectful? I need to make that commitment. What can I do to be a friend again?
Okay. And can I answer that question?
Yes, sir.
It's all about empathy. It's all about empathy. The quality of a relationship is a function of the extent to which it is built on a solid underlying friendship and it meets the needs of the two people involved. So, what is it that friends do? Friends share things about their life. They're interested in one another's lives. They share stories and victories and tragedies. They laugh and talk. And sometimes I see married couples that'll get up in the morning and walk by each other in the hall and, but yet when they go to work, it's like, hi, Sue, hi, Bill, how you doing? Oh, what'd you do last night? They put more effort into a friendship than they do into their marriage. And so I think you have to work on getting back to being friends. And as I was saying to Jim in y'all's absence, sometimes we quiet ourselves internally by controlling things externally. It's like, okay, if everything's in its place and there's a place for everything, I can feel like things are right with the world. But that's not really true. And we'll be right back. You two need to really get back to basics. Question, I want you to answer this in a very focused way. Why did you fall in love with this woman? What was it about her that you said, this one I want to stay with?
The first thing I noticed about Sally was her smile and the wagon with two little children that she carried around. And then it was that friendship, you know, it was that friendship. We shared our dreams together. You know, we talked about maybe someday starting an orphanage, you know, dreams like that. We would spend so much time together. And I think that to a large extent... What's that?
Did you think she was cute?
Oh, beautiful.
Did you think she had a good sense of humor?
Yes. And at the same time, you know, along with all of this, we accepted each other. We listened to each other.
But then we got away from that, right? What was it about him that you fell in love with?
Well, he was nice looking. That was what caught my eye, I guess. But I think, you know, once we got to know each other, we had a good friendship. We really did. He was my best friend. We were involved in things together. And that was something that we were close to each other because we had a lot of activities together.
And something that will help you at this point reconnect with her is to learn to quiet yourself internally. Learn to really relax and just kind of let life wash over you a little bit. Because there's time to work. And I've been accused of being a workaholic myself.
That's right. It's true.
My wife out there saying, uh-huh. So I had to say that or I'd lose all credibility.
True.
But, you know, I've had to learn, and I think you would benefit from learning to really quiet yourself internally, calm yourself, and let all the stress and tension go where you have nothing to do, nothing to solve, nothing to conquer. And that's not about being worthless, because I'll promise you, you will be much more effective when you're in harness if you take care of the horse when it's out of harness. You know, you got to fill yourself back up some, because we need change agents in this world. We don't need martyrs. We need somebody that stays in the game, and to do that, you got to take care of yourself, and that means you got to learn some skills to control stress, pressure, anxiety, tension, all the things that can cause a guy to get really intense, because you can get pretty intense, and when you do, then you really speed up, and you say and do things that you don't really mean in the heat of the moment. I mean, couples do that.
And I'm really trying to work on, because I know right now Sally has a real fragile image because of her overweight, and she talks about her overweight.
No. Let's stop. I'm not going to go.
I don't mean that.
John, they're responding to that because they're women, and you're criticizing her for her weight. Now, listen, we're not going there. Stop.
I've never said one thing negative.
No, we're not going there. You're going to listen. Let's focus on what I am, and then we're going to stop this conversation, because I'm telling you what needs to be done. And I've given you the formula for success in a relationship. I've told you what I think needs to be done to get this back on the right track, and I'm going to make some resources available to you that I think you'd really enjoy. I think you could really throw yourself
Dr.
into
Phil,
it
can I
and
say
enjoy
something
it.
It's my wife. She puts herself down all the time about her being over, and that's what I meant. She puts herself down, and that hurts me, you know, because I think she's a beautiful woman, and
I get it, and I think we need to.
In his defense, I'd like to say he has been supportive of since I've gained the weight. He has been very good to me about it.
And if you want to get that done, we'll help you with that. Seriously, we'll help you with that in a very healthful way. If you want to do that for you, we'll do that. But the expectations, I know I got a sneaking feeling if I went to my wife and said, you know, there are dishes piled up here, she would hand me some soap and a rag, you know. I mean, so I don't bring it up. I'd have a job if I brought it up.
And see, that's another thing. I'm a firm believer in household chores. I do dishes, and I do clean. But see, Sally thinks that when I do that, it undermines her as a stay-at-home.
Well, I'm going to help you get over that.
Okay, I appreciate that.
So I do dishes, and I do clean, and I don't mind doing dishes. You know.
When I do them, I'll just break a few, and then she'll say, "Hey, get out of the way. Just let me do it." Works every time. Remember that one.
My son learned that. Yeah, he does that a lot.
But I'm telling you, we need to reduce the stress and pressure here. Work on this focus, and I'm going to give you some opportunities to do that. And then we'll see what happens, okay? Give me a chance to work on this? Give me a chance to work on this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll be right back. Well, I want to thank all of my guests today. You know, one of the things I always tell folks that are up here is, you know, there is a bit of a trade-off. I mean, up here you get up close and personal focus and resources made available to you. And what we get out of it is a teaching tool. And I hope that everybody that's in a relationship will look at the relationships today and say, do I see myself, even in part, on either side of a relationship? Am I being too submissive and not standing up for myself? Am I being too over-controlling and crowding somebody? Because trust me, nobody wants to be treated like a child in an adult relationship, and it never works long term. So if you're in a relationship that has an imbalance in it, work on that. I mean, try to find a way where you treat each other with dignity and respect. If you want long term, that's what it's going to be, is a give and take. Thanks for being here today. So long.
Dr. Phil. She's set a wedding date.
She's booked a venue, photographer, even a limo.
There's just one problem.
She doesn't have a groom.
Is it bad luck to choose the dress before I choose the groom?
That's a recipe for disaster.
This sounds really crazy.
Desperate measures.
Fear has completely taken over my life.
I feel like a prisoner.
She's terrified to be home alone.
With 2 Dobermans, a gun, and a stun gun, you still have a paralyzing fear when you take a shower.
I can't go on living like this.
We're getting ready to set you free.
Thank you, Dr. Phil.
And he's had 47 cosmetic procedures.
Steve's quest for perfection cost him over $300,000.
I've never wanted to look natural.
If you knew before you got that first surgery what you now know, would you still have gone down this path? This is going to be a changing day in your life.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
If it matters to you, that's what I want to talk about. Are you ready in the booth?
Take.
Let's do it. Go, Dr. Phil. Okay. Well, today we've got 3 people with 3 different stories, but they all have one thing in common. They're all taking extreme measures to get what they want. Now, this is Lisa, who is so focused on getting married that she's not only set a wedding date, she's booked a venue, a photographer, a DJ, even the limo. She doesn't have a groom. Now, this is Steve. He's looking for perfection at the end of a scalpel. Now, he is so obsessed with his appearance, he's had 47 cosmetic surgeries and even plans on getting more. And this is Caroline, who is frightened, so frightened to be home alone that she keeps a .38 special gun, just like this, in her bathroom, along with 2 Dobermans, just so she can take a shower. So 3 people. This woman will do anything to get a man through the door. This man's look changed so much you might not recognize which man was coming through the door. And this woman would shoot any man coming through the door. Take a look.
Fear has completely taken over my life. When I come home after dark, I have to check the whole house to make sure that no one is hiding. My biggest fear is that someone is going to attack me and rape me. I started feeling afraid when I was 11, 12 years old. I was at home sick. The noise I heard was downstairs in the basement. I thought someone had tried to break in. My plan was to play possum. My fears got worse when my husband started a new job. This requires him to be gone 3 weeks at a time. I'm alone. I feel
like a prisoner in my home.
To help keep her safe, I've spent north of $16,000 to this point.
We had motion detectors installed.
Extra keypads in her bathroom, in the basement.
I've always had a bat. It's a metal one.
And I had a panic button. I wear my panic button while I sleep.
We live damn near in Fort Knox already.
I thought, what if it took the police a long time to get here? Someone would have time to attack me. So we got a Doberman Pinscher.
Good boy.
The dog was about $4,500.
The Doberman made me feel very safe, but I became so dependent on him that I thought, what would I do if he became ill or, God forbid, if he died? So we got a second Doberman Pinscher.
The Plan B dog was about $5,000. So I've spent right at $10,000 on the dogs. Where it comes to her safety, I don't know where I could or would draw the line. It's my job. It came with the ring. It's my job to make her feel safe. I'll do what it takes. I'll do what it takes.
Well, let's take a look at the ritual that Caroline does every time she takes a shower, just to feel safe.
When I take my shower, I come into the bedroom and I lock the door. And I take this and I put it in place. I take the dogs to their bed, so I keep them out here for protection. I take the door and lock it, and then I have another door jamb. And I take this and put it in place. I take my arsenal.
I take my cell phone, flashlight, panic button, stun gun, 38 special.
And I put everything on the toilet because it's right next to the shower. This is what I call my torture chamber. The scariest thing that I do is take a shower. I activate a control panel. I have a clear plastic shower curtain because when I'm in there, I have to be able to see out to the door in case if someone were to get in. The reason that it's so scary for me is because I'm completely vulnerable. I have my glasses off, my contacts are out. You've got shampoo in your hair. I wouldn't be able to run to get away. I'm hoping, Dr. Phil, that you can help me because I can't go on like this.
Okay, now we've just been watching some tape of your life, and it's pretty rough for you.
Yes, sir, it is.
I mean, tell me how strong the fear gets when you're really feeling it at home. On a scale of 1 to 10, if 10 is to the point that paralysis, you would just pass out and be paralyzed in the floor, and 1 is, oh, you know, I kind of got a little flutter, but not much.
I would definitely say a 10.
Really? How often do you feel a 10?
Every other day when I take my shower.
Okay, because that's the worst when you take the shower, right?
Yes.
Because you feel what?
I am vulnerable. I'm very vulnerable because I have my clothes off.
Right.
I have shampoo in my hair. If the alarm were to go off, I wouldn't be able to run.
Well, there's a difference between rational and irrational fear. Rational fear is when you have a proportionate reaction to a clear and present danger. But an irrational fear is when it's disproportionate. It doesn't match the level or the likelihood of the threat. And you have to agree that this is probably disproportionate, right?
Yes, I do, actually.
Okay. TK, this bothers you because you have said you don't feel like you're doing your job.
Everything that I've done thus far has worked for 10 minutes, you know, in the scheme of things. I mean, it's
right.
It's temporary.
You spent like north of, what, $16,000 trying to put in security systems and that sort of thing, the dogs and...
That doesn't include the monthly costs, like changing all the light bulbs on the exterior of the house every time I go to catch a boat, the monthly monitoring fee for the security system.
Right.
So.
And you feel like you're kind of failing because you should be able to make your wife feel safe.
It's her house. You know, that's where she lives. That should be the only place that she doesn't feel fear.
Where's this come from, in your opinion? Put your analysis hat on.
I've never been attacked, but when I was younger, very young, I did see a lot of scary movies.
Right.
And people getting attacked. I have not seen Psycho, but I know something really bad happened in the shower. I don't know what.
Yeah, you do not want to see something.
I've been told not to, and I'm not gonna.
No.
So I really don't know where this is coming from, Dr. Phil.
It is a real fear. You know, there are home invasions. There are burglars. There are muggings. There are things that happen. I mean, I totally get that. But there are things you can do to protect yourself and take precautions, and you feel like you're doing that. But yet, with 2 Dobermans, a gun, and a stun gun, you still have a 10-level paralyzing fear when you take a shower in a locked house with a security system in a low-crime area.
Yes, sir.
Okay, does that seem disproportionate?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you do acknowledge that that seems like
yes, I do.
a little overreaction here.
But when I'm going through it, it is very real.
Oh, I listen, I totally get it. To you, it's as real as if you heard someone in the bathroom moving towards you. And you can even go there right now, can't you? You can think of that happening, and you're having a fear response right now just when I said that, right? This is your lucky day, because I've got some news for you that can and will change what's going on with you.
Oh my goodness.
Right after the break.
The first round of surgeries, I only wanted 1, but I ended up with 6. I not only had a chin implant, but I had the cleft done. At the same time, Michael Jackson was considering having his chin done. I was basically the guinea pig for Michael Jackson's signature chin.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil, you've heard about pageant moms.
What's the most you've ever spent on a dress?
Over $8,000.
Now meet the pageant dads.
Does it bother you to dress these little girls up?
You're not teaching your children to be realistic.
You have no idea what I teach my children.
Plus, she's training her sister to compete. But this is no coaching session.
You're but ugly.
Oh, no.
No one likes you. You're not pretty.
Then on Monday,
she says you were physically abusive with her.
That's not true.
he wants her back.
I love her.
She just wants her life back.
You love the control I gave you. That's what you love.
That's Monday.
I have talked to my husband and asked him if we can install security lights on the roof of the house and on the deck. The dogs have been barking lately on the side of the house, and that frightens me. With the lights, I would be able to see what's going on.
Okay, now, I was talking pretty big before the break.
Yes, sir, you were.
I said, this is your lucky day. There are some good things here that I have to tell you. Let me kind of analyze this for you just real quickly, okay? First off, you have a terrific husband here.
Yes, I do.
He is very patient. He is very supportive. He's very supportive. He's like a big teddy bear about all this, right?
Yes, he is.
He keeps shelling out the dough. He's getting all these burglar alarms and dogs and all that. So, I mean, he's there for you on this, right? Now, he does travel.
He travels away from me 3 weeks at a time.
And your fear is she's going to ask you to quit your job and stay home, make her feel safe.
She's mentioned it in passing.
Okay, well, good news, you're not going to need to do that either. Now, this is situation specific. You don't feel this way out in the world.
That's right, because when I'm out of my home, I feel safe. And when I'm in my home, I feel like I'm a prisoner.
At home, there are no bad people, and you feel threatened. Out in the world, which is full of bad people, that's where all the muggers are. I'm not trying to expand your fear. I'm just saying that's where all the muggers are. That's where all the rapists are. That's where all the criminals are. When you're at home, they're not there. That's where you're safe. But when you're out in the world where they all are, you feel fine. Yeah, I don't know. Does that seem a little out of whack to you?
Most women feel safe in their homes and fearful if they were to go out alone.
So this has actually risen to kind of the level of phobia for you.
Definitely.
I mean, you're phobic about this.
Yes,
I mean,
sir.
that shower is your worst nightmare.
It's a torture chamber.
Right, and you only shower like once a month,
day.
right? No. Every 3 weeks.
Let me get a little closer, and you tell me.
Right before you come home, she takes her shower for you. No, you shower every other day because you just can't do it every day.
Right. I would prefer to every day.
Yeah, but you just can't because of the fear. You know, actually, this has probably got some earmarks of PTSD to it, post-traumatic stress disorder. You've seen things that have scared you in your life. And I know that it sounds funny to say that you watch a movie and so you've been scared all your life, but that can happen. If something gets inside your head, if you really empathize and personalize with a person that's being traumatized on television or in real life and you identify with them, you can live vicariously through their pain and their experience. And that very likely has happened here. You have seen something, The Shining or something where, I don't know.
It ruined me. It is the last scary movie I ever saw.
Here's the good news that people don't know about phobias. It is one of the most treatable, curable, eliminatable disorders that anybody has, and it can be eliminated within 10 to 12 sessions of a very specific procedure called systematic desensitization. Wow. You have an involuntary anxiety response. There's a certain stimulus. For you, it's the shower. That's just one of them. There are others, but for you, it's the shower. That starts what we call automatic thoughts. You don't actually sit there and say, okay, shower, I'm going to be vulnerable, I'm going to be naked, I'm going to have soap in my eyes, I'm trapped in a little box here, I can't get out. You don't go through that in your mind. What you do is just say, shower, horror. I mean, it's automatic. For now, you go from A to Z in a millisecond because your brain is so programmed to that you don't even have the time to rationally think it through. It happens automatically. It's bang, like that. We're going to teach you to relax completely. And you don't know how to relax, do you? Okay, here, stand up for me. Okay? Now, I'm going to stand behind you. You can trust me.
I do.
Your husband's here. Put your hand straight out to your side, and I want you to make a fist. And I want you to tense up. Don't let me push these down. Don't let me push these down. Don't let me do it. Don't let me do it. Okay, just tense, hold it tense.
Okay.
And when I count to 3, I want you to relax. Relax your hands, relax your arms. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's not relaxing. That's control.
Okay.
Okay? Now, okay, this is relaxing. You're here, tense, 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 tense. 1, 2, 3. What you call relaxation is... So you don't even know what relaxation is, okay? Climb back up. Okay. You don't even know what relaxation is. We're going to teach you how to be completely devoid of tension. And then very slowly, we're going to start to introduce stimuli that would ordinarily invoke a fear response. But we're going to teach you to do it through systematic desensitization that will involve relaxation and some biofeedback. We're going to teach you to experience those stimuli without any fear response whatsoever. Now, do I want you to become reckless? No. Do I want you to continue to use a burglar alarm system? Of course. You wear a panic button sometimes. That's okay. That's fine. Dogs, you got them. They're yours. Keep them. I'm not going to take away all of the things that give you some minuscule measure, but you're not going to need it because we're going to teach you not to have this involuntary neurological reaction to the stimuli. If I arrange this for you to put you through this, will you do it?
Yes, because I can't go on living
No,
like
you don't
this.
need to. That's the good news. That's the good news. We're getting ready to set you free. Okay? We're going to set you free, then you're going to come back here and tell us what happened. So that way I can't say this to you and everybody go, oh, well, that was great. Well, I wonder what happened.
Okay.
You're going to come back and tell us what happened, okay?
Thank you, Dr. Phil.
All right, you feel good about this?
Thank you, I'll try.
All right, PJ. Thanks, man. All right. 47 procedures and counting. 47 procedures. We're going to meet Steve, whose quest for perfection has gone to the extreme and has so far cost him over $300,000. We'll be right back.
I think I have a nice nose. People a lot of times say that I have beautiful eyes. My eyebrows have a good shape. I'm not big on wrinkles or lines, so I have to be careful not to stand in the mirror and look at myself too hard or too long. That's an exercise that I practice.
Coming in 1 week.
I believe my granddaughter was molested by her father.
He's accused of the unthinkable.
You have no facts. You're nothing but a liar.
Trusts were betrayed.
You took her child to have a pelvic exam and didn't tell her mother?
Vows were broken.
You have cheated on her in this marriage.
I'm not cheating now.
But was a child's innocence
I'm not going to allow her to take him away from my kids.
stolen forever?
Are you willing to take a polygraph examination?
This father
I have nothing to hide.
stands accused.
Our family has been torn apart.
I don't want my kids taken away. They need us.
In 1 week, the family discovers the truth.
The results of the test are...
Find out next Thursday.
Bicep implants, abdominal etching, forehead lift, cleft chin, liposuction. Those are just a few of the extreme ways Steve has gone to be perfect.
I've had a facelift, a forehead lift, pec implants, bicep implants, abdominal etching, liposuction. The first time I considered cosmetic surgery, I sought out a plastic surgeon named Dr. Stephen Hoffman, who at the time was very famous for doing Michael Jackson. The first round of surgeries, I only wanted one, but I ended up with 6. I not only had a chin implant, but I had the cleft done. At the same time, Michael Jackson was considering having his chin done. I was basically the guinea pig for Michael Jackson's signature chin. When it comes to my face and my body, I'm a perfectionist. Perfectionists are never happy. I'm really talented at picking out faults and correcting them. I went back to Dr. Hoffman and I said, Dr. Hoffman, do you think I need anything else? He says, Steve, you look great. Come back and see me in 10 years. I found a plastic surgeon, Dr. Nicholas Chugay, who was pioneering muscle implants. So I said, yeah, I think that's what I want. The bicep implant. It's a solid silicone implant slid up and held in place underneath the fascia tissue. Pec implants are a solid sheet of silicone. They're folded in half like a taco and they're slid in the chest area. I think my 50th surgery, I will probably break the Guinness Book of World Records, have a big television special and documentary done on me, and it'll be a nice blowout celebration.
Okay. So you've had 47 things done.
Yes.
How do you think you look?
I'm happy with my looks right now.
Okay.
For my age.
So why have anything else done?
Well, after 47 surgeries, there's not much more left to do. But if I need something, I'll have some maintenance.
Yeah, well, I made a list of the things that you've had done, which I thought was an astounding list. You've had 2 nose jobs, nostrils narrowed, chin implant, cleft done, liposuction under cheekbones, 3 liposuctions under chin, 3 forehead lifts, coronal lift, facelift, and feather lift, which is kind of a facelift, upper and lower eyelids each done twice, bicep implants, pec implants, liposuction, stomach, love handles, under the buttocks, 2 hair transplants, abdominal etching, dental implants, lip injections, facial tattoos. Where are the facial tattoos?
Eyeliner, lips, and eyebrows.
Oh, okay. Got you. 3 chemical peels, Botox, and Restylane. When do you work? Isn't that a lot of recovery time?
The worst would maybe be about 3 weeks.
We have a picture of you before, and then a picture of you now.
I was 20 years old. Did you look better when you were 20?
Not much.
I was a good-looking young man. It's not that I needed a lot of surgery. It's just...
Do you think you look operated now? Do you think you look natural, or do you think you look surgical?
I've never wanted to look natural, ever.
So you want to look... You want people to walk by you and go, whoa.
Well, I don't know. I just always wanted keen features. That's why I sought out my first plastic surgeon, Dr. Hoffman.
Okay, well, there are different theories about why somebody would do this. One is you could have body dysmorphic disorder, which means you're just not ever satisfied with anything because you have a distorted view, a distorted perception of your body. So you could have body dysmorphic disorder, or you could just be an attention whore, or you could be addicted to surgery. The actual process
I'm actually not an attention whore. I'm actually very low profile.
Well, the reason that would be on the list is because you said your 50th surgery is going to be a huge spectacle, and you're going to blow it out, and it's going to, everybody's going to know, and it's going to all be there, which suggests to me that attention does have some value for you.
Well, it does have value business-wise, yes.
But you're very successful in your business long ago. I mean, you do hair products and...
Hollywood Secrets Hair Care.
You're very successful at what you do. So why do you need this?
It extends your career. My career may have been over 20 years ago.
Okay, well, let's look at this picture here. I mean, this is a posed picture that you took. And was this after the PEC implants?
I think this was in 1997, which was...
Well, clearly you've had the PEC implants.
Yeah.
Were you satisfied when you took that picture?
There's some good attributes in the picture.
When you took that picture, makeup, lights, hair, professional photographer, you're saying still not there.
I hate taking pictures. I hate them.
Because?
I just don't like drawing that much attention to myself, like photographically. I just hate it.
Okay, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk to Steve's doctor and meet his friend who is pleading with him to stop going under the knife. We'll be right back.
Project Husband is my journey to find my soulmate.
I mean, Project Husband? It's a project?
I think Lisa is living in a delusional world, and unfortunately, the guy hasn't shown up yet.
Okay, well, I'm back with Steve, who has undergone 47 cosmetic procedures, says he's going to do more, and that number 50 is going to be a huge blowout. Now, Dr. Nicholas Shugay has been working on Steve for 20 years, and he has performed 42 of his cosmetic procedures. Doctor, thank you for being here. Is he a good candidate for surgery at this point?
He's had pretty much everything done.
Was there ever a time that you thought he might have a body dysmorphic disorder and therefore was psychologically seeking something that couldn't be provided physically?
There was not that dislike of himself or wanting to completely change, and so I think there is no body dysmorphic syndrome of the situation. It's more just narcissistic kind of tendency.
I've done evaluations for cosmetic surgery back during the time that I was practicing, and that would be a clear don't do it sign if that was the case.
Well, I think most of us are narcissistic, especially in the society. There's an element of that. And if it makes a person feel better or look better, I think it's fine.
When you look at Steve, he clearly doesn't have a natural look. And you say you don't want a natural look,
Never.
Right?
Not from day one.
So, I mean, he clearly has a surgery look, correct?
That's correct.
It's like a haircut. Everybody likes a different haircut.
Are you desperate to look young?
I don't like looking old. Put it that way. I don't like lines. I don't like wrinkles. I love me at my age now. I love me when I was 20. I loved myself when I was 30.
Yeah. How old are you now?
29 plus.
29 plus. Dr. Jay Calvert is here. He has never performed any surgery on Steve, and he prefers to work with people who want a more natural look. So what do you think of Steve's look, Dr. Calvert?
Well, I think it's a very interesting choice. You know, it's a done look, which is, you know, and for being done, it's the look that he wants.
Isn't there a point at which scar tissue can get to the point that it keeps people from being able to have natural expressions? Are you ever concerned about that, Dr. Shugay?
Well, I try to be very careful and cautious whenever we do things. And there are repeat procedures on patients that may need to do reconstruction, etc. There's a lot of scar. And so you just work with that and be extremely cautious with that.
Now, Kate has been friends with Steve for 20 years, and she says she wants him to stop what she calls an obsession with trying to achieve perfection. You're concerned he's done too much, Kate?
There's so many reasons to be concerned. He's gone under anesthesia 47 times. What about the, chance of an infection? Also, you've got psychological effects, maybe.
It's become an ongoing joke with us. I've worked with her for 18 years. She's also the star of The Young and the Restless, a soap opera. So it's like I go to her house and she's like, but why? Why? You don't need it.
I mean, he's come to my house. He's had lipo, and he's been in pain, and has been there 3 days later, and we can barely move, trying to do my hair and makeup. I'm going, what are you doing?
If you could not get surgery again, if just all of a sudden there wasn't a doctor on the face of the earth that would touch you, would you be okay?
I wouldn't be okay, but I'd find other ways like facials and maybe peels, something less invasive. I'd make it work.
If you knew before you got that first surgery what you now know to be true, 47 procedures, not all surgeries, but 47 procedures later, would you still have gone down this path?
Some things work, some things don't. Some things I would have changed. I was a pioneer with some surgeries, and the first person for like bicep and pec implants.
If Steve presents to you for surgical procedures, like he wants to do 50 and have a big spectacle blowout, will you do additional surgeries on
The
him?
Guinness Book of World Records.
Well, he's had a facelift. How many years ago was that, Steve?
I think it was 8 years ago.
8 years ago. So usually a facelift lasts about 7 to 10 years. If he came to me next year or whatever, say, okay, this is about 9 years down the line on a facelift. We could give you another facelift.
So you would operate on him again?
I would, because I only did one facelift on him so far.
A good facelift that's done well can easily last 8, 10, 15 years, especially with the new endoscopic techniques. It's not good to keep having plastic surgery over time. It really does take its toll and can make you look a lot older.
Because there are people that they go just one step too far and it gets really bad.
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
We'll pay attention and see this 50 Guinness Book of World Records spectacle. So I appreciate you talking about this. Every girl dreams of a fairy tale wedding. This bride is no different. But wait, something very important is missing. We'll be right back.
I am 35 years old, and I would like to be married on February 15th. Here we are, where I plan to be married. I've booked my venue. I booked a photographer. I reserved a DJ. I reserved a limo. I'm working very closely with a wedding planner. I'm planning to have 8 bridesmaids. And hopefully, I'll be meeting my soulmate at the altar.
Well, Lisa is scheduled to get married. I said she's scheduled. She got the date. She got the venue. She got the DJ. She got the limo booked. She's picked the bridesmaids' dresses. She got, the date's set, and it's soon. But she doesn't have a groom. Take a look.
I want to get married, will you marry me?
I am 35 years old, and I would like to be married on February 15th of 2011. In addition, I've booked my venue. I booked a photographer. I reserved a DJ. I reserved a limo. I'm working very closely with a wedding planner. I'm planning to have 8 bridesmaids. The bridesmaids will be wearing purple. I plan to have 250 people at my wedding. Here we are, where I plan to be married, and hopefully I'll be meeting my soulmate at the altar. I have never been married. People have said that I'm desperate, needy, that I must be completely unattractive and ugly. Right before my 35th birthday, I lost 50 pounds. I had a simple idea at my friend's wedding that if I booked my wedding a year in advance, then I would get married. I had the thought that if I put the details together, that it actually would happen. When I walked in the store and saw all the beautiful gowns, I got really excited. So I have booked the wedding facility for next year, even though I don't have the groom. And my thought is that by booking it, I will be more likely to find my groom.
Lisa is
is my first bride that is not currently in a relationship that's booked with us.
Why not go out and try to find your husband while you're planning your wedding?
I've been out with about 70 different guys.
Lisa told me about the Project Husband. I thought that might be a little crazy. It kind of blew me away that somebody would take that risk.
Project Husband is my journey to find my soulmate and true love, to get married and to start a family.
Dr. Phil, is it bad luck to choose the dress before I choose the groom?
Okay, now, this sounds really crazy. But the truth is, you just believe in the power of intention. You believe set a goal, move towards a known outcome in a purposeful way, and you'll create what you want, right?
True.
So, see, I'm helping you here.
Yes.
But that's your thinking, right?
It is my thinking, yes.
Yeah, I don't buy it. I don't think that works.
It's a great, honest platform for dating. I'm dating less, just to have fun, and dating more to find someone I really would like to be married to.
Okay, so tell me how this comes up on this first date.
Well,
I mean, some guy picks you up, and you guys go to dinner or something like that, and you kind of chat him up a little bit, and then the conversation turns to February 15th. The clock is ticking here. How do you bring that up?
If it is the case where I just randomly meet someone and we're having a good time, then I'll bring it up. I had met someone and we were watching a game in a sports bar, and I said, by the way, I'm doing this thing. I have this wedding booked. It's in about a year. Is that crazy? And he's like, yeah. And I said, well, what do you think about marriage? He said, well, I'm 30. I'd like to be married maybe when I'm closer to 35. Honestly, I won't be ready to be married next February. And I was like, that's cool.
Because that would scare, just take it from me, a guy. That would scare a lot of guys. If I went to dinner with you and you said, you're pretty shiny.
You wouldn't believe.
I like you, and I have a wedding date set for February 15th.
It doesn't usually come up that way. You would be surprised. There are some guys that I have to get rid of who really want to be married and want to continue seeing me, and I don't want to see them.
But, see, I think relationships are negotiated. I mean, all relationships are negotiated, and a negotiation never stops. And one of the first rules of negotiation is you never impose a time deadline, because it boxes you in and people will use that against you.
The thing is that this didn't come in some desperate flash. Oh my gosh, I'm turning 35, I have to get married. It was a simple thought at my friend's wedding. I've been in so many weddings, I can't even tell you how many. I've never been married, I have no children. It was a simple thought, hey, why don't I try this? If I book my wedding in a year, then I might get married too. You
said you're going to write a wedding song. Have you done that yet?
I'm still thinking about what that will be. I'm hoping it will be inspired by a guy,
Yeah. Yeah, I bet it will. I found me an unsuspecting sucker and got him down the aisle just in time to pucker.
That's good. That's country.
Yeah. Well, so am I. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk to a matchmaker, see what she thinks about this, and, well, we'll just talk about it some more.
I think one of the places that Lisa's coming from is a place of desperation versus happy.
All right, I asked two of the top matchmakers their opinion of Lisa's Project Husband. Here's what they had to say.
Hi, my name is Lisa Linehan, and I have created Project Husband because I've planned a wedding next February, but I need a groom.
I mean, Project Husband? It's a project? Is she looking for the next Spencer? I mean, this is just a little crack crazy. Fame whore, textbook case. I think Lisa is living in a delusional world, and unfortunately, the guy hasn't shown up yet.
I want to get married, married.
I just feel like this is a desperate shout out. It's just too much.
Is she waiting for Brad Pitt with money and a personality, like Dane Cook? What? One of the things that Lisa's going to have a problem with is that she wants a masculine energy male. That man is not going to be attracted to a masculine energy female. The masculine energy male showing up to date a masculine energy female, that's a recipe for disaster.
I don't even think she's dating right now. She's interviewing.
I think one of the places that Lisa's coming from is a place of desperation versus happiness. Men pick up on desperation before we even step off the curb. I mean, dating's supposed to be fun. It's not a job, and it's not a dirty little chore. And there are no deadlines. Love happens when you least expect it.
Well, April Beyer is the president of a matchmaking and consulting firm called Beyer & Company. Now, she thinks Lisa might be in the danger zone here. April, why do you say that?
You're basing your entire future on a deadline, which I think is ridiculous. And
marriage is serious and it's a lot of hard work, even when you choose the right person. If anything, I think you're prohibiting yourself from getting married, because we don't know what kind of man and the caliber of man that's going to be drawn to you in this kind of environment. You're really hurting your chances.
I do understand setting a goal and putting a timeline on it and kind of keeping that in your mind. And a lot of people do that, just don't say it. I mean, you've said it. But I think what April's saying is, once you say that, you could attract some guys that, you know, might not be exactly who you want to attract in this situation. Do you think there is even an unconscious or subconscious tendency to maybe compromise a bit to make your deadline?
No, not at all.
Some of the single men in our audience want to weigh in on Lisa's project husband. So let's hear what they have to say. Vaughn, what do you think about this?
You may think you found your soulmate. You may go ahead and get married. Maybe a year later, turns out, gee, it wasn't your soulmate. Your soulmate may be your next door neighbor all of a sudden at that point. What are you going to do? You may find yourself divorced.
You think the time's run out already?
I think it's run out already, and she may find herself divorced and back in this exact same situation, but it'll be a year or two later.
But I can wait forever and know the person entirely and still get divorced. There's no guarantee in any of it.
No, that's right. There would be risk that way, too. Antoine, what do you want to say?
I think you're crazy. I mean, you know, why don't you just wait for the right man to come along and then just give it a chance instead of, I think you're putting a rush on it, you know what I mean? But,
yeah, like I said, it was a simple thought. I'm going to try this. I am 35. I'm not, you know, in my 20s anymore. I have waited, and I thought maybe this will be a different approach, and we'll see what happens.
Why do you think you haven't connected along the way? Because you're obviously very attractive. You have a great personality. You have a good sense of humor. You're clearly motivated and energetic. Why haven't you connected?
Well, because I'm not willing to settle, and because what I really need and want in my relationship is the commitment, the friendship, and the chemistry. And I've had pieces of those, maybe 2 of the 3, but not all 3 at the same time. And I think it's true that love is something that can't necessarily be measured. It can't necessarily have a deadline. It's just going to happen probably when I least expect it. And it could happen before my deadline, and it might not. So we'll just have to see.
To follow my rule, you would each have to get the flu. Because I don't believe you should ever marry anybody until you've seen them with the flu.
So good. That's good.
Is that that's not a bad rule, is it?
It's a great rule. My first year of marriage was really hard, and we saw each other at our worst. You have to spend, I believe, 4 seasons with someone. You know, marriage is not a wedding day and a beautiful dress and flowers.
Of course
Think
not.
how much better it will feel if you're actually doing it with your partner. And you don't meet your soulmate at the altar. You meet your soulmate, you fall in love, and you inspire him to want to marry you. So, again, you are very strategy-driven and goal-driven, and good luck, because if you get married in this manner, what's going to happen for the rest of your life? That's 1 day out of 365.
Yeah, I think we had some volunteers in the audience. We'll be right back. I was just saying to Lisa at the break, you got to make sure you're in a target-rich environment for the right kind of guys. Because if you want to marry a professional man, you don't want to hang around a bunch of non-professionals, or vice versa. You got to get somewhere that you got your hook in the right pond, so to speak. Well, I mean, that
sounds so scary.
I know, it is. I want to thank all of my guests today. Dr. Nicholas Shugay, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Dr. Jay Calvert, appreciate you weighing in. April Beyer of Beyer & Company. I want to thank Patty Stanger for weighing in on our groomless bride as well. Kate, thanks for coming and talking about it. Steve, appreciate you being open about all of this. You can see the new season of Millionaire Matchmaker, which is airing on Bravo. Thanks for being here, everybody. So long.
Dr. Phil.
Since I've ended it with Aaron, I've been afraid for my life.
Teens obsessed with love.
He texted me, if I can't have you, nobody else can.
He's living in fear.
He is here, and I've set up extra security to make sure that you feel safe.
This is what I need to get my power back that I gave him.
She confronts her ex.
She says you were physically abusive with her.
That's not true.
He wants her back.
I love her. I don't want any other girl except her.
You love the control I gave you. That's what you love.
But she just wants her life back.
She says she doesn't want to see you. Can you turn her loose?
Now, teens obsessed with love.
My boyfriend was obsessed with me. He would call me all the time and drive by my house to make sure that I was home.
My boyfriend used to kick down doors, call me names, smash my face into the TV screen.
He would choke me and laugh about it.
My boyfriend shoved me against the car when I didn't do what he wanted.
My boyfriend would tell me he had a gun under the seat of his car to threaten me.
He told me he'd break my neck and leave my body there and wait before he called my house and asked my mother where I was.
My boyfriend and his friends kidnapped me, and while his two friends held me down, he tried to rape me.
Well, these shocking statements are only a small fraction of the thousands of stories we hear and read about every day regarding teen girls who have obsessive, controlling, and abusive boyfriends. But sadly, ending a relationship built on obsession and control can lead to even more trouble.
Dr. Phil, I have a crazy ex-boyfriend who will not leave me alone. He has threatened my life. My mother is scared for my life. I am scared for my life. We constantly live in fear of what could happen. Can you please help us?
Well, that's 17-year-old Samantha, and her plea for help is exactly why this year I have started a campaign to end the silence on domestic violence. And later in the show, you'll hear how I'm working with schools to stop dating violence before it begins. But first, let's listen to the rest of Samantha's story.
My daughter Samantha's ex-boyfriend Aaron is emotionally abusive and obsessed with her.
Since I've ended it with Aaron, I've been afraid for my life. Aaron's abuse started with just screaming. He would tell me that I'm so lucky I'm not a guy because he would have kicked my ass already. Or, you make me so mad, I just wish sometimes I could kill you. Before I knew it, it was pushing and choking.
I knew Aaron had anger issues, but I didn't know how bad they were until after Samantha broke up with him.
Aaron would choke me and laugh because he could see the fear in me. That's when I just knew that I couldn't do it anymore.
The constant harassments, phone calls, and texting have been nonstop.
I had 42 missed calls and 50 missed text messages. He texted me, if I can't have you, nobody else can.
It got so bad that I had her telephone number changed.
When Aaron couldn't reach me, he called my mother's phone. I have random people Facebook messaging me to call him, texting my mom's phone. He even reached out to my family members he's never even met to try and contact me.
I'm afraid that Aaron could kill my daughter.
A couple weeks ago, Aaron showed up at my house. He was pounding on my door. I ran in my mom's closet. I called my mom hysterical. I was so scared I couldn't even get off the phone with her to call 911. I honestly think if Aaron could have got through my door, I would not be sitting here today. I think I would be dead.
Okay, that's hard to watch, right? I mean, because that's the reality of your life right now. Tell me why you're so afraid.
I am so afraid because he has made it clear that throughout our whole relationship that it is his way or no way. And he just does not want to be without me.
Has he threatened your life?
He has texted, before I changed my phone number, he has texted me and told me, if you don't talk to me, I'll kill myself. And he's during arguments, he's told me, you make me so mad, I just want to kill you. And he came to my door one day, and just him knocking on the door, Dr. Phil, I just remember my first reaction was get as far away from him as you can. So I ran into my mother's room and locked myself in the closet. And I just remember I was shaking and I could barely dial any numbers, and I got my mom on the phone and I was so hysterical. I remember the only thing she could tell me is, Samantha, just calm down. I can't understand you. And the only thing I could get out is he was here. And that I've never felt so terrified in my life. I honestly thought that that could have been the last day that I was alive.
And these text messages he sent you, we wrote down some of them that you gave us. I'm going to kill you. I'm so mad I could punch you in the face. These are not okay. I mean, you get that, right?
Yeah.
When he came to your door, how long did he beat on the door?
It felt like forever for me, but it was about 20 minutes. And it wasn't just knocking. My whole door was vibrating. It was like I felt like the door was just going to fall off the hinges.
You're now not sleeping at night.
I don't sleep at night. I sleep for maybe an hour, and then I'm up again. And the only noise, if I hear a noise, I'm up right away. I don't do any school activities. I don't go to any football games, basketball games. I don't go to the mall like I used to. I do not go outside my house unless I'm with my mom. And even with my mom, we have to go where we're going and be home as fast as possible. I'm just terrified of anything that is involving him.
Is your daughter overreacting to this, or are you as scared as she is?
Well, the first time when she said she contacted your show and there was an answer from it, I kind of was like just set back, like what could this possibly be about? There's got to be something I'm not knowing about. And I really didn't know the extent of it to the degree until I overheard one of the interviews when she had talked about his physical choking her and shoving her around. She didn't share that part with me. Mm-hmm. I knew the behavior and the obsessive behavior wasn't healthy. But the more I tried to show her and tell her this is not right, this is not normal, the tighter those two became.
Can you hid this from your mother? Why? His name is Aaron, and you know that he is here today. I've set up extra security to make sure that you feel safe.
You don't realize how much someone means to you until they're gone. I love her, and I don't want to be with any other girl except her. I would do anything to get her back.
And later...
You have done nothing but take me from being the normal teenage girl to being scared for my life.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil.
I know that you are an addict.
I want you to say, I need rehab. And I don't.
Alexandra's prescription drug use.
You know what I think. You need to be detoxed.
Puts her back on the streets.
I'm done. I don't want your help anymore.
Where no one can find her.
This is about the 7th time I've tried to call Alexandra today.
My fear is that she could die before we can get to her.
Then on Wednesday, she disowned her family.
She said, I'm no longer your daughter.
You do believe this is a cult?
The gaze was blank. It was not the same person.
That's Wednesday.
Samantha lives in constant fear right now.
Hey, honey.
I drop her off at school. I pick her up from school. She only goes out of the house when she's with me.
I don't go and hang out with friends at all. I honestly think Aaron would have no problem ending my life.
Can you hid this from your mother? Why?
Because I made excuses up for him. And I didn't want to tell her because at that point it was like my mom has always looked at me as being so like independent, and like I could not bear to see how my mom would feel, and I didn't want it. I was being selfish. I did not want to feel the feelings of my mom being disappointed in me for letting it happen. I felt like it would disappoint her.
And let me tell you, this is a pattern in these obsessive and abusive teen relationships, Mom. They're ashamed of it, they're embarrassed about it, they're afraid if they tell you, you'll make them break up, and they don't want that. They know it's not right, but they make excuses. But what I want you and every teen in America to hear and understand is this is not okay. One of the major tools of an abuser is isolation. To cut you off from friends, cut you off from family, cut you off from your church, brothers, sisters, isolate you so you can be controlled. And then to treat you in this way and terrorize you in this way by putting his hands on you in anger and violence is not okay. For him to threaten your life and use emotional extortion, talk to me or I'll kill myself. That's another way of manipulation and control. These threats against you, text-wise and otherwise, are are not okay. And teens don't know where the boundaries are in relationships and sometimes can make the mistake. I want you to understand that there's a phenomenon in violent relationships, intimate partner violence, called separation assault. And the highest danger you're in is when you break off the relationship, because the frustration level goes up. Their control is slipping away. They get desperate. They panic. And there is a very high incidence of injury and death in the couple of months after a breakup. Now, Lonnie Coombs is here, and she is a legal consultant that works with the Dr. Phil Show. She's a former prosecutor in the district attorney's office and has dealt with these situations a number of times in a number of ways. Lonnie, is there a reason to get a temporary restraining order?
Yes, absolutely. A lot of people think a piece of paper will not help them or make them feel safe, but here's what a restraining order does. First of all, it puts the police on notice. It puts your abuser on notice, and then it makes his behavior illegal.
It does start a process. You're one step closer to him being restrained from hurting you. Okay, his name is Aaron, and you know that he is here today.
Yes.
And I plan to talk to him today. Now, one thing I don't think you do is put an abuser and their victim together unless and until we've talked through this and you guys are fully and completely okay with this. So, do you want to see him? Do you want to talk to him?
I don't want to talk to him, but I'm going to do it because this is part of what I need to get my power back that I gave him. I need to be okay with me, and I need to do this so that I know that I've done everything possible.
Okay, but you know, we're not asking you to do this. We're not encouraging you to do this. You don't need to do this for the show. It's not important for us to talk about this teen dating violence. We can do that without this. I'm not going to have some big confrontation here. If we do this, it's because you want to do it for you. It's not for us. You do that. I want you to be clear about that.
I want to do it for me, and I wouldn't feel any better unless it was right here, right now with you, where I feel safe.
Okay, well, let me tell you how we're going to do this. I'm going to put the two of you down here in the audience somewhere, because I don't want you up here with him. That's too close for me. Now, one of the things that he has said, that he clings to, is that he's just waiting for you to turn 18, because then you can get her out of your life and you can be together, because she's the reason you don't want to be with him. Is that true?
That is absolutely 100% not true. I am not with him because I am tired of being abused, and I'm not going to handle it anymore.
This has nothing to do with your mother?
This has absolutely nothing to do with my mother. This has to do with me taking the blindfold off of my eyes and realizing it's not okay how I'm being treated.
Okay. He is here, and I've set up extra security to make sure that you feel safe. Well, Samantha says her ex-boyfriend, Aaron, has been stalking, harassing, and threatening her life daily since she broke up with him just 2 months ago. Aaron says he just loves Samantha, and he will stop at nothing to get her to listen to him.
I haven't talked to Samantha in 2 months. She said she loved me and she wanted to spend the rest of her life with me. You don't realize how much someone means to you until they're gone. We would argue, but a lot of it had to do with her mom. Her mom just thought I was a bad guy. Samantha sent me a text that we're done. I tried calling her, I tried calling her mom, I tried talking to her mom's friends, I tried going over to see Samantha. I did everything I could. If she feels the same way I feel, I think we can work it out. I love her, and I don't want to be with any other girl except her. I would do anything to get her back.
Okay, well, we've been talking with Tammy and Samantha, and we've been discussing you, Aaron. Lonnie Coombs is here. She is the Dr. Phil Show legal consultant. Aaron, you and Samantha have broken up, what, about 2 months ago?
Yeah.
And do you consider y'all to be broken up?
Yeah.
She says that she doesn't want to talk to you and doesn't want to see you, but yet you continue to make every attempt to try to contact her to the point that it's really upsetting her and scaring her. What do you say about that?
I cannot believe that you're going to sit up there and lie to everybody. It's not your way anymore. I'm not going to call you and tell you why. And I should have ended it with you the first time you talked to me the way you shouldn't have.
She says that she doesn't want to talk to you and doesn't want to see you, but yet you continue to make every attempt to try to contact her to the point that it's really upsetting her and scaring her. What do you say about that?
She never really said it to me directly, or she never said it on the phone. Like, she sent me a text message, and that was basically it. And we were together.
That didn't do it for you? I mean, it didn't feel like
I just wanted
closure.
her. All I wanted to do is for her to explain things to me.
She says that during the relationship that you were physically abusive with her.
That's not true.
She says that you choked her at times to the point that she was afraid that you were going to hurt or kill her.
That's not true.
You never put your hands around her neck?
No.
You never shoved her, pushed her, choked her in any way whatsoever?
We would play around, but we never got serious or anything like that. Like, I was telling somebody on the phone, I think the worst argument we had was when she threw a candle at my head and she missed. I think that was about it, though.
She says and has text messages from you that say, if I can't have you, no one can. I'm so mad at you I could kill you. I'm going to kill you. I'm so mad I could punch you in the face.
That's not for me.
Did you show up at her house and bang on the door for 20 minutes trying to get her to come out and talk to you?
Yeah.
Why did you do that?
Because I just wanted to hear what she had to say. She never explained anything to me.
Have you said that you think she's the one for you?
Yeah.
Do you think that?
I wouldn't be out here if I didn't think so.
Yeah. But if she is scared of you because you won't back off, that seems like an odd way to court somebody.
All it would have took is 2 minutes to say, listen, I don't want to be with you, I want some space. Instead of sending me a million text messages because her mom doesn't want me with her.
Well,
and I think half of the problem is her mom and half of the problem is me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Well, what did you want to ask her?
What does she want? And whatever she wants.
And you recognize that if she wants not to talk to you, that's her right.
Yeah, I'll respect that.
I mean, you don't get to determine that. You said, well, all she had to do is pick up the phone and call me. If she chooses not to do that, that's her right. You don't have the right to tell her how she has to break up with you. I mean, you get that, right? I mean, do you get that? Do you acknowledge that?
Yeah, it's just hard to accept.
And I understand that. If you're in love, I get that it's hard to accept. And, you know, I don't want to think you're a bad guy at all. And I'm treating you with dignity and respect here. I'm not trying to be ugly to you. But you have to recognize that she has rights in this, and she wanted to talk to you today. She does want to talk to you, and here's Samantha right here. Samantha, what did you want to say?
I cannot believe that you're going to sit up there and lie to everybody about you not putting your hands on me, and you not being the way you were to me, and then say that I broke up with you over a text message. Why do you think I broke up with you over a text message? Because it was always your way. It's not your way anymore. I'm not going to call you and tell you why. I don't owe you an explanation, and I should have ended it with you the first time you talked to me the way you shouldn't have. You are done. It is over. I don't want anything to do with you. You have done nothing but take me from being the normal teenage girl that I've wanted to be to being scared for my life, Aaron. You say you don't remember choking me? Really, because the same day I threw that candle at you, we were laying on the bed talking about stuff, and you don't remember choking me. You don't remember doing that. Really. But you remember me saying that I want to be with you for the rest of my life.
Yeah,
you can remember that, right?
Yeah.
You could remember me calling you and saying, hey, things are going to get better because my mom said we could all sit down and talk. And what did you say? I don't want you to be with your mom. I want you to turn 18 and I want us to move away. If you really loved me, why wasn't it enough to where we could sit down and work things out with my mother? Why? Because you don't. You love the control I gave you. That's what you love. You love the fact that you can stand up and look like a man because you can tell me what to do. And I'm not doing it anymore. I'm here to tell you today that I'm putting my foot down. I'm getting a restraining order, and I never want to hear from you again. You've done nothing but cause me and my mother pain, and it's over.
Is there anything you want to ask her? Will you miss her?
Coming Thursday.
I believe my granddaughter was molested by her father.
He's accused of the unthinkable.
You have no facts. You're nothing but a liar.
Trusts were betrayed.
You took her child to have a pelvic exam and didn't tell her mother?
Vows were broken.
You have cheated on her in this marriage.
I'm not cheating now.
But was a child's innocence
I'm not going to allow her to take him away from my kids.
stolen forever?
Are you willing to take a polygraph examination?
This father,
I have nothing to hide,
stands accused.
Our family has been torn apart.
I don't want my kids taken away. They need us.
In 3 days, the family discovers the truth.
The results of the test are...
Find out Thursday.
Is there anything you want to ask her?
No, that's all I wanted to hear.
Yeah. So, and I get what you're saying. If that's what you need to hear, but what do you do at this point?
Move on.
I don't believe it. I don't think that you are going to go home and not contact me. I do not think that you are going to do and be done with it. I think you're saying it because there's people here. I think you're saying it because Dr. Phil's here. I think you're going to go home and think I did not mean what I just said, and you're going to call me or try and text my mother.
How do you feel about what Samantha had to say?
It hurts.
It hurts how? And let me tell you, it's okay to have emotions about it. It's not good news. It's okay to have emotions about it. In fact, that's a good thing, you know, to let your feelings out about it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, if you love somebody and you care for them, and they say, I don't want to be with you, that hurts anybody, right? There's nothing to be ashamed of about that at all. Will you miss her? But can you turn her loose? How will you do that if you haven't been able to do it before?
I don't know. I just want her to be happy.
Because if you love her, then what you said is true. You know, we want the best for those that we love. The way you two young people have come together has traumatized you both, right? I mean, it's hurting you. It's hurting you. And, you know, I'm an old guy. I'm the 60-year-old bald guy here. But I can tell you the chance that in your teenage years that you're going to meet the one is probably 1 in 10 million, because you're just getting your life started. And I want you to get your life started. I don't want to demonize you. I don't want to paint you as a bad guy. And if you need kind of help organizing your emotions and getting yourself headed in the right direction, then I'll get you that help. I'll provide you professional help and support to help you find peace within yourself so you can be happy and productive in your own life. But if, and I mean that, I mean that in all sincerity. I want both of y'all to be okay. Samantha, you don't want anything bad to happen to him, do you?
I don't, but I don't want to be with him or have any contact with him. He is good as a human being, but he is not good mixed with me.
You two don't come together well. I get that. But you deserve a happy life as well. And if there's anything I can do to help you, if you continue to do what you've done, and I don't think you mean to break the law, I don't think you mean to do things wrong, but Lonnie, he is in fact breaking the law here if he continues to pursue her. True?
Absolutely. That is correct, Dr. Phil. Aaron, I want to give you this warning, this heads up, and I want to be very clear with you. The law says that each of us has a right to not be bothered, to not be harassed, to not be threatened, to not be controlled by someone else. So when a relationship ends and one person says, I want to be left alone, I want out of here, the law steps in and protects that person. So if you continue to try and contact them, if you're violating the law, you can't do that. You have your whole life ahead of you. You've got to stop this today. If she gets a restraining order and you make one slip up, you could be arrested. And you could be looking at a criminal record, and you could be looking at jail time. And you don't want to be facing that.
But no, we don't want that. What you do is, have a great life and be healthy and, be at peace. Be at peace with yourself, and you're likely going to meet somebody and get married and have kids and maybe a couple more kids, and you'll look back and say, that was a difficult time, but I was man enough to man up and step up and do the right thing. And that's just what that's what I want you to do. And as I say, if I can help you with that, then let me help you with that. Let me get you some help to kind of sort things out and make some plans and move forward. Will you take that help if I offer to you? Because I'm offering. I'm telling you, I'll set it up in your town at our expense to help you get some traction here so you can do what you need to do with your life. Fair enough?
Yeah.
All right, next, the story that I want Samantha and every teen in an abusive relationship to hear. Stay tuned. You do not want to miss what we're getting ready to talk about.
After we broke up, AJ stalked me and harassed me until the day he tried to kill me.
He chases after the car she's riding in, shoots two boys that are with her, then runs her down.
I remember thinking I didn't want to die.
Well, we're back with Tammy and her daughter Samantha, and did you get said what you needed to get said?
I feel like I have a big weight lifted off me. I feel relieved. I feel a little bit at ease, and I didn't think it would feel as good as it did to get it out.
Okay. Well, let me say this to you. Now, I don't want you to have a false sense of security here. I want you to get a restraining order. I know that in separation assault, it's during those times when they realize this is slipping away that they can get desperate and do something desperate, either to themselves or someone else, and that's his choice if he does that. I've offered him help. He's meeting with our resource director backstage right now to hook him up with a therapist in his area that will sit down and talk with him and help him. But I think you need to remain very cautious and very vigilant until this situation stabilizes. I'm glad you feel better, want you to, but let's maintain our precautions at the highest order here. I can't control what happens when you leave here, but I think you're doing the right things, and I think your thinking is brilliant. Now, I want everyone to listen to this cautionary tale of survival that will explain to you what I mean when I talk about separation assault and what I mean when I say these things can go bad after the breakup. Take a look.
I was in an abusive relationship with my ex-boyfriend. After we broke up, AJ stalked me and harassed me until the day he tried to kill me. On November 5th, 2007, my friend Jeremy picked me up with 3 other friends. As we were leaving, we saw AJ waiting behind my house for us.
A day after breaking up with AJ Brown for good, the unexpected happens.
A male teen in a Suburban was chasing an Explorer with 3 teens inside. The teen in the Suburban got out with a gun, shot the 2 male teens, killed one of them. Then he started chasing the teenage girl and started beating the girl with a shotgun.
He started to chase us in his vehicle. At the first stoplight we hit, he showed us his shotgun. We tried to get away. I was terrified. AJ pulled up beside us and shot Jeremy in the side of the head.
I was scared and I didn't know what to do.
We stopped to see if he was okay, but by that time, AJ had pulled his car over. I heard 2 clicks, and as soon as I turned, Michael was down on the ground.
Michael died at the scene.
He tried shooting me, but he ran out of bullets. He cracked my skull with the butt of the shotgun. I remember thinking I didn't want to die. He ended up dropping the gun he was beating me with and pulling out the other shotgun he had in his car. And then he shot himself.
A teen relationship gone way, way bad. Now, Tiffany is here, as well as Jeremy, who was in the car with Tiffany and was the first to be shot. Did you see this coming at all?
No, I never thought anything like that would happen. I never thought he would get guns or that he'd actually try and kill me like he told me he was going to. I didn't think anything of it.
What did you think as you were hearing this story with Samantha unfolding, with what she says is happening between she and Aaron?
It sounded exactly like my old relationship. Exactly like it, with all the hitting, coming to your house and the door vibrating.
Here's the thing I want to say. The separation assault is such a very real phenomenon. And it tends to trigger in the weeks or few months after the abuser realizes it's slipping away. And that time may not actually begin until today. I mean, I'm not trying to panic you, but I am trying to alert you and make you aware of what needs to happen, because, I mean, this can happen. And Jeremy, thank you for being here.
Oh, anytime. Thank you.
And how are you feeling?
I'm doing a lot better.
Yeah.
A lot better than I was, but I'm doing awesome.
I'm so sorry that this happened to you. And, well, you know, this speaks volumes. You are right to be concerned. Is there anything you want to ask or say?
I just want to thank you. I honestly, I knew there was concern, but I didn't know it could be this bad. And I just can't believe that there's people out there that would come and tell their story just so people like me know what to watch out for. So I want to thank you. It means a lot to me that you would do this.
Well, because sometimes you don't know where the boundaries are, right? I mean, it took you a while to figure out what was going on wasn't okay.
It took me a while. Once I figured out it wasn't okay, I didn't even know where it had gone from being just arguing to crossing the line to not being okay. I didn't even know how it had gotten to that point. It was before I knew it, it was just out of control. There was no...
So moms, dads, you need to know, and we're going to post the warning signs up to tell whether or not your daughter might be in an abusive relationship. They'll be on drphil.com in detail. Some of them aren't as commonsensical as you might think, but they'll help you to gauge whether your daughter may be at risk. And, of course, having a dialogue, talking to them, letting them know, even if they deny it, if you plant in their mind what's not okay, it can help. Next, a way for every teen to make a difference when it comes to dating violence, and I have a big announcement to make as well. We'll be right back. Well, this month is Teen Dating Violence Prevention and Awareness Month, and that is what we've been talking about today. Now, the beginning of the season, I introduced a campaign called End the Silence on Domestic Violence. And the intent was to fight domestic violence on every front, on the show, on the internet, on the floor of Congress, and in the schools. You know, when I started the Dr. Phil Show 9 years ago, I wanted to open a dialogue about mental health and mental illness. I wanted to do some prevention. I wanted to get a program into the schools to teach the young men where the boundaries are, to teach the young women where the boundaries are. And today we are making good on that commitment because I am partnering with some great organizations, Break the Cycle and Hazleton Publishing, to promote, distribute, and continually create the most comprehensive best practice program for reducing dating violence in the country. And it's called Respect Works. Now, the goal is to get this program into at least 1,000 schools in the fall, reaching 1 million children. Now, Marjorie Gilberg is here. She is the executive director of Break the Cycle, the leading national nonprofit organization that addresses teen dating violence. And Marjorie, we need to get this into schools, true?
Absolutely. It's time for us to help educate young people about what's okay and what's not okay in a relationship.
And, you know, the thing that I love about this program that we're targeting the schools with is it starts a dialogue. It's an ongoing process, because this is not something where you just need to hold an assembly at the first of the year and say it's not okay to be bossy or putting your hands on each other in anger. This has to be a curriculum, and we've got to train the trainers, we've got to teach these kids, and we've got to make it where it's just part of the educational process, true?
Absolutely, and we need to put policies in place to make sure that when something happens on campus, which inevitably it will, the school's ready to respond.
All right, tell us about your Let Your Heart Rule campaign that's being launched this month.
We are so excited to be partnering with Verizon and Dr. Phil Show to announce Let Your Heart Rule campaign this month, which raises awareness about teen dating violence awareness around the country. And what we're asking people to do is wear their heart on their sleeve to help get people talking about, start a dialogue with your friends, with your family, with your parents, with your children, and really help to educate young people about what's okay in a relationship.
Yeah, exactly. Now, Tammy Irwin is also here, and she is president of Verizon Wireless West. And Tammy, tell us what your involvement is here.
Yeah, thank you very much. We're pleased to be partnering with the program Let Your Heart Rule, because domestic violence is our primary philanthropic cause at Verizon Wireless, and it's one that we've worked for many years and many of our customers have helped to participate in, and that's donate your old phone. We recycle it, we get phones and millions of dollars back out towards the education and prevention of domestic violence. It affects 1 in 3 women every year.
Well, tell us about the contest, because Hopeline from Verizon and Break the Cycle are hosting a national PSA contest for all of you teens, and the winner's going to be announced right here. So tell everybody about that.
Yeah, thank you. So teens like to talk in teen language. So this is a great opportunity for these teenagers to get together and put together a PSA announcement with their language, what's right and what's not right. And it really is an opportunity for them to educate their peers around the country, to compete in a contest, and then to have the top 1 or 2 be announced, I think, right here on your show.
It's going to happen right here.
All right.
So, guys, we're going to have links up where you can find this. And really, you're right. There is a Teen Speak out there. They understand, and I think it's brilliant to do this PSA contest. So you're going to have links online where you can put it together, upload your own video. Then we're going to unveil them right here on drphil.com. So that's our plan. We'll be right back. Well, I want to thank all of my guests today, and a special thanks to Break the Cycle, Verizon Wireless, and Hazleton Publishing, because we have a good thing going and some important work here as we work together. And if you want more information on Let Your Heart Rule campaign, Hopeline from Verizon, and the PSA contest, go to drphil.com. We're going to have the information there where you can just click, you can put together. I mean, be creative here. Come up with something that really, really strikes at the heart of this issue. You can also go to drphil.com and sign up to be a silence breaker and be a part of my End the Silence on Domestic Violence. You can purchase a T-shirt and a bracelet there, and all the proceeds go to the campaigns. I had some real concerns about Aaron when he was out here. He was sweating a lot and seemed to be really struggling. So when we sat down with our resource director, it verified my suspicions that Aaron is much in need of rehab. And we're going to send him directly from here to Origins Recovery Center in South Padre Island, which is a top-notch drug rehabilitation center. That's important for a couple of reasons. I told him that I wanted to give him a chance to get traction in life, and I meant that. And it also tells me I'm going to know where he is during this period of time, which... So take a deep breath and relax. He's under medical supervision. Thanks for being here. So long.
The Dr. Phil family.
I know that you are an addict.
You say I need rehab.
I don't.
Inside Alexandra's prescription drug use.
Why did you go to a doctor 112 miles from your house?
This is for pain.
Can you give me 2 bottles of that?
Yeah, because one has a count and the rest has another count.
It's time.
This has derailed your life.
For a wake-up call.
You know what I think? You need to be detoxed. You're addicted to prescription drugs.
But when Alex goes missing...
I am not a crackhead, and that's how you're treating me. I'm done. I don't want your help anymore.
Her father goes searching.
This is about the 7th time I've tried to call Alexandra today. You're beginning to really worry me.
I think Alexandra has stooped to some really low level to get money, to get drugs.
My fear is that she could die before we can get to her.
Alexandra in danger.
Many of you are writing into the show wanting to know more about what's happening with Alex from the Dr. Phil family. Well, last week we got to see a glimpse of Alex's life and what it's like living out of a hotel room, struggling to make ends meet. Plus, we got to hear why she says she chooses to keep out of her children's lives. Now, I know there are a lot of unanswered questions about Alex's possible drug abuse, and today I plan to drill down on Alex to get some answers. But first, here's what's happened so far. Were you taking drugs during the pregnancy?
I went to a pain clinic because I was having problems with my back, and I guess I was taking prescriptions, and everybody thought that I was some sort of drug addict, but I'm not.
Oh, there he is.
Are you going to test it for drugs?
She really does have to. Do I need to call security?
You need to test the baby for drugs.
Oh, my God.
The baby was, sadly, born addicted to drugs.
Are you smoking PCP, meth, heroin?
I'm smoking PCP.
Well, what are you smoking?
I'm not smoking anything.
Did you fail a drug test?
Yeah, my drug test came up positive for methadone, not methamphetamines. My mom's so ignorant, she doesn't know what methadone is. She heard meth and thought I was smoking meth.
Are you still taking it?
I have a doctor's appointment coming up, yes.
You would have a hard time stopping it on your own. I think you're a drug addict. Because of the addiction, you are driven to service the addiction. You have to get the pills, so you become very survival-based.
What else, Alexandra? What else could there be? I already know you take drugs. What is it that I don't know that could possibly be worse than you being a drug addict? You're a prostitute? All I see is my beautiful 22-year-old daughter who is probably going to be dead within a year if she keeps doing what she's doing.
Now is the time to confront Alex about what drugs she's taking, how much she's taking, and where she's getting them. You think you're addicted to oxycodone?
I'm not going to answer that.
Well, I think you know you're addicted to oxycodone, and if you don't want to say it, I'll do the talking. Would you like to be where you didn't have to take any pain meds at all?
I've been where I don't have to take them, and I still experience excruciating amount of pain. I can't find anything that helps me get through the day. Even with pain medication, I still have pain. It's just hard.
Alex got a lot of problems. Obviously, she's got a problem with drugs, and she needs help. Alexandra's got a broke back. That's a hellacious problem, you know. That's painful. I mean, I understand, you know, there's a difference between taking your medicine and doing medicine. She has a problem. She'll admit that. And that's the first step, you know. I've asked Alex about the rehab thing. I'm going to again. Alex keeps telling me she's not ready for rehab. But I don't think anybody's ever ready for rehab. I'm going to do everything I can to try to get her in that rehab. I'll go with her. You know, I want the best for Alex. That's the mother of my only child, you know.
If there was a way to manage it without pain medication, you would prefer that, right? And I'm not saying there is, because I don't know all of the physiology of your injuries, other than I know that you have legitimate injuries. That's not what I question. I do, in my opinion, think you are addicted to prescription medication. And I think we have to find a way to manage that, because if not, you just kind of stay in a semi-trance all the time, taking pain meds. You went to see a new doctor?
Mm-hmm. We are going to Orlando to my doctor's appointment. I am telling you, this is not good, because you're going to get me in trouble with the camera being here.
Why?
Because this is a pain management office. People are sensitive about it. You can't walk out and in and out of the office. You can't come out to your car. You can't walk around. You have to sit down. And especially, you cannot have a video camera. Can you have a video camera in any other doctor's office?
I don't think they'd get mad and not treat me if I did.
I'm just telling you how this works. I've been here a couple different times, so I'm telling you. This is what to help me sleep. I got ibuprofen, and then this is for pain.
All right, there was one more, wasn't there?
Yeah, it's the same bottle. It's the same thing.
They gave you 2 bottles of that?
Yeah, because one has a count, and then the rest has another count. I am happy that I have medicine. I took some for my pain, so hopefully my back will stop hurting here soon. The doctor was telling me that my arthritis is getting so bad that I probably won't be able to walk by the time I'm 40. I need to think about physical therapy. I experience a lot of pain, and it's almost like crippling, because I can't sleep, I can't stand up straight, I can't sit, I can't bend over, I can't pick up my kids, so I'm not sure how else to manage my pain.
And he gave you new prescriptions, right? Mm-hmm. So you don't have anything illegal. That's not what I'm saying.
Oh.
You have legal prescriptions.
Yes.
Why did you go to a doctor 112 miles from your house?
Coming up.
What do you want me to say to you?
I want you to say, Mom, I realize I have a whole big problem with drugs and I'm going to rehab.
I have pain every day,
And
which
there
you
are-
have no idea how to deal with.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil, they gave up on their families.
Your sister didn't even come to your wedding.
But their families
You do believe this is a cult?
Absolutely it is.
aren't giving up on them.
Elon, why are they separating us?
We set up a surprise meeting, and our hidden cameras were ready.
The voice was different. I don't want to see it. The gaze was blank. It was not the same person that I had known.
Then on Thursday,
My granddaughter was molested by her father.
was a child's innocence stolen.
You haven't touched this daughter.
Never.
Are you willing to take a polygraph?
That's Thursday. We now return to the Dr. Phil family. Alexandra in danger.
Why did you go to a doctor 112 miles from your house?
Because I am not 25. And in Florida, the pain management laws that have changed. Barely any doctors will see patients under 25.
Well, there are 72 clinics between you and the one you went to, and I had them call several of them this morning, and they said that they didn't have any 25-year-old age limit.
Of course.
What do you mean, of course? I mean, there's no point in driving 112 miles, that's all I'm saying. If you have to have the medication, you don't have to drive.
I like my doctor. When my other doctor's office closed down, they gave a referral of doctors in the area. And that's the doctor that I chose.
But this is the first time you've seen him or her?
Yeah.
This doctor is a new doctor? Well, I need to tell you the two medications you have don't go together well. They're dangerous. You need to know they're dangerous. They can potentiate one another in a way that really makes the impact unpredictable and high risk. And I think you should get a second opinion about the specific medicines that you've been prescribed, because they should not be given together, in my opinion. And I'm not a physician, but I've dealt with a lot of addiction, and those two medicines don't go together well. The new one that you're on, to be prescribed to someone that is high risk for addiction, is really dangerous. And if you don't know this, I mean, I don't want you to say, well, I wish somebody had told me this, 6 months ago. So I'm telling you, I think you need to get a second opinion.
I hear what you're saying. I appreciate that. Thank you.
What do you think about me saying, based on my observations and knowledge of your history, that you are addicted to prescription medications?
That's your opinion, and you're entitled to it.
Do you disagree?
I'm not going to answer that.
I do think you're addicted to prescription medications, and I think it is highly dangerous for you. I think what you've been given now is highly dangerous, and I think you do have a legitimate pain syndrome that needs to be dealt with, but I don't think you can deal with it with these medications, because I think they are going to rob you of your motivation. I think they're going to rob you of your health. I think they're going to rob you of your future. They can rob you of your life, particularly taking these together. I think you are at high risk for a super bad outcome. You talked to your mother about this. Take a look at this.
So what about stopping the drugs? What about that?
What do you want me to say to you?
I want you to say, Mom, I realize I have a whole big problem with drugs and I'm going to rehab.
God.
Because I want to be straight. But you know what? Being high is great because you don't have to deal with anything when you're stoned. And the guilt you feel because you're not taking care of your kids. I get that. I do get that.
Maybe you should understand that I was in an accident and I have pain every day,
And
which
there
you
are-
have no idea how to deal
I
with.
do.
No, I have early onset rheumatoid arthritis. I have degenerative disc disease. I have a back so screwed up that I have to feel pain every day.
You can deal with it with other things besides medication.
Right.
Okay?
Okay, Mom.
You've just gone immediately to snorting hydrocodone and Oxycontin.
And you have proof of this, that I still do that, huh?
Well, right now your pupils are completely dilated. Alexandra, do you think that I want to say this stuff because...
I don't know why the say it. Why? Why did you have to say, why do you have to bring it up now when I'm here trying to spend time with my son?
Because I want you to say, I need rehab.
Okay, well that's not gonna happen, so you can stop.
Why?
Because I don't.
You're never going to go to rehab.
No.
Ever.
No.
I think you do need rehab, and I think you should go to rehab, and I'll make rehab available to you if you want to do it. But I don't need you to tell me that you don't want to do that. I get that. But I tell you what I do think you should do, and I bet you will agree to this, is I think you should see one of the leading spine specialists in America at Cedars-Sinai Hospital and let him figure out what's wrong with your back and give you some answers. And I think that we should get you in there and get you evaluated. And I think if that got resolved in some way, truly resolved, I think you'd have a very different attitude about the pain medication. If I set you up with one of the top specialists to evaluate your spine and figure out what's going on, will you embrace that? Will you do that? Tell me what you're thinking right now.
I don't want to focus on my back pain. I just wish that I could focus on something else in my life.
But you got to get it out of there.
I know.
As I sit here right now, I know, as sure as I'm sitting here, that you are an addict, and we're going to have to deal with that. I want to tell you, I have burned up huge favors to get you into this spine specialist on Monday. I have your promise you'll be there.
Yes, I want to go. But also, I'm supposed to sign up for school Monday because my classes start Monday. And that's really important to me, too.
And whatever we got to do on the other end, we'll figure it out. We'll get it done. I want to get you on the road to health, Alexandra. This is crazy. This is crazy. We got to get you on the road to health.
We are on our way to see the spine specialist. I am a little nervous because I haven't really been to see an actual doctor for my back since I've had the accident. I've never seen a specialist.
Hey, thanks for taking a minute to chat about Alex.
So what's up today?
Alexandra has had a bit of a rough ride, and in my opinion, she has a serious addiction to prescription medication. I can't prove that. There's a lot of things that point to it. Here's the thing. She reportedly had an accident, April 9 of 08, automobile accident, wore a back brace for 6 months. I think once she had pain meds, and I think she got addicted to them. So I'm very concerned that she needs to be in a serious inpatient rehab facility. But the confounding factor is I do believe she has a legitimate back problem. I don't know what all's going on, but I'm in a situation where I feel like she has an addiction. She is resistant to going to any type of rehabilitation. So I thought it would be good if I could get you to take a look at her and see what you thought on all these fronts.
You know, if she's got a back problem, this to me, I'd look at it and figure out whether it's something that we can fix.
I was very concerned when I last saw her and she said she had been to this pain clinic. I don't know this doctor, don't know the pain clinic. From what I understand, I think they dispense a lot of medications.
Dr. Phil, the problem is that unfortunately, there's no way to really gauge her true pain level at this time. With all of the pain medication she has on board, and with her, I think that she just is going to definitely need inpatient detox and some form of counseling afterwards to help get her off of these medications to get a truer sense of where her pain level is and to accurately treat her.
Well, it sounds like we've got a great plan, and I knew I was coming to the right place. I'll be anxious to see what comes out of the evaluation, so I'll wait to hear from you guys.
Coming up, we met with Alexandra, and she was on enough medications that would put both of us to sleep.
You should let us put you somewhere to detox you and get you where you need to be.
We now return to the Dr. Phil family. Alexandra in danger.
Hi, I'm Alex.
Hi, I'm Carrie. I work with Dr. Johnson and Dr. Berkeley.
Nice
meeting you. Welcome. What we're going to do is fill out a little paperwork first, and then we're going to have you have a seat.
We met with Alexandra, and she was on enough medications that would put both of us to sleep right now. And we did some x-rays. It looked like she had an old fracture, probably healed. I don't think she's going to have a surgical problem as my guess. I've done this so many years, I can tell you that it seems unlikely. In any event, she's on a ton of pain medications.
My gut feeling tells me that I think what we should do is have her go through inpatient detox, not just for her health purposes, but because this pain issue that she's having may in fact just clear up on its own if we can get her off the pain meds.
Did you need to do any kind of follow-up visit or anything?
They want me to get an MRI and then call in.
Okay, cool.
We are leaving the doctor's office right now. Everything went really well, I think. I really did feel like the doctor kind of knew what he was doing. He kind of made me feel a little bit more relaxed and calm. I do believe this is a good step in the right direction towards managing my pain.
So you saw Dr. Johnson and Dr. Berkeley?
Yes.
And so how'd you like them?
Dr. Berkeley was really down to earth. I really thought that, he was helpful.
How about Dr. Johnson? Did you talk to him much?
Briefly, but he was really nice too.
Cedars-Sinai is one of the obviously top hospitals in the world. And they head up a spinal unit over there that people come from all over the world to see them. They did the evaluation on you. They do not have the detailed reports back yet from the MRI, but we've gotten their initial downloads. I wanted to share it with you. First off, they say clearly you have injuries to your spine. And I swear, sure as I'm sitting here, I did not pre-program this because you know I'm concerned about your drug consumption. They are concerned about your drug consumption. Dr. Berkeley thinks that the medication you're on could actually be making the pain worse.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah. And if you have a dependency on that medication just based on the length of time you've taken it, you need to get off of that when you have something to put in its place. I know you're really defensive and resistant about that, and I don't know why. Nobody's accusing you of doing anything wrong. We're not saying you're like party girl drug addict, but you are addicted to some pain meds that aren't helping you. So you've got to deal with the addiction, and then you got to get the right meds to get this under control. You may need additional surgery, but they were very clear that this is something you need to fix now. Tell me what you're thinking.
Well, I'm glad that, they were able to help me, kind of, I guess, put on paper where my pain was and how, how it's affecting me, and that, because I think it's kind of hard for my mom, because I guess she has the same back injuries, or she has similar back injuries to mine, and I guess it's kind of hard for her to accept that I feel pain, I guess, when she doesn't. So, it kind of helps me to have something to bring back to her, to be like, look, I really do have pain. This is, how I am hurting. But it's nice for me to, I guess, be presented with different options for managing it.
You can't accept that and then reject what they say, that the meds you're on are wrong. Those are the wrong meds for this pain, that it will make it worse and at best not help. And that you are dependent on those meds. We've got to get you off of those. You've got to detox off of those and do the right things to get this under control. And to detox off of there, you're going to have to do two things. One is physiological, which is medically supervised, and two is the psychological, because the dependencies are two categories. They're medical and psychological. You should let us put you somewhere to detox you and get you where you need to be. That's what you need to do next. And that's what I want you to do. So what do you say?
Coming up.
This has derailed your life. You have 3 kids that aren't with you, and
I really don't want to go there.
Why don't you want to go there?
We now return to the Dr. Phil family. Alexandra in danger.
You should let us put you somewhere to detox you and get you where you need to be. So what do you say?
I'd like to get into school and get to a house and have a stableness in my life before I, take, I guess, the next step towards what you're asking me.
Mm-hmm. Do you believe you need to do it?
Well, for me, my pain, what I'm on helps manage my pain. It does. I mean, for me, it helps. And
you may help it, but it's inefficient. I don't want you to live with chronic pain. That's not the option. The option is to get the right meds, if any, to get any procedures done that need to be done to relieve you neurologically. You have to do that, but you can't just say, well, I'm going to continue to be dependent on these pills because it's going to age you super fast. You're going to have to take more and more of it in order for it to have any effect on you at all. And that's going to send you into a tailspin. You have to get off of this medication. Why are you so resistant to that?
Well, 3 years ago when I had my accident and I was prescribed medication for pain, the same stuff I'm on now, then they thought it was going to help. The doctor I saw after that prescribed me the same thing. My family doctor even told me that he asked me what I was on for pain and agreed with that. So, I mean, I'm confused.
But all of that wisdom led you to having a drug-addicted baby. They're not treating the patient, they're just treating the symptom. Wouldn't you prefer to never have to take another pain pill again the rest of your life?
Yeah.
It took a while to say that. I mean,
That's not possible. That's not realistic.
It is realistic. That could well be the outcome. What you want is to be pain-free, right?
Yes.
And if you're pain-free, then you don't need the meds, right?
Right.
So you wouldn't want to take them anymore, correct?
Right.
Or if this is your addiction talking and you just want to keep taking the pills and don't want to do anything to stop that, I can't stop it. I can't keep you from going to some pain clinic down there and some guy writing you a script. I believe you are addicted. I believe you need to go into detox and rehab and get off of it and control it in the appropriate way. And then you're going to be able to get traction in your life long term. And all of this can be over in a matter of weeks. Do you agree or disagree with that?
What Dr. Berkeley and I talked about, the way he described it and the way you describe it are two totally different things. And the way that he describes it, I completely agree with. The way you describe it, I don't really.
Yeah. What are the differences between what I'm saying and what he's saying?
The way you're describing it, it makes me seem like I'm drug dependent. I go out and search for illegal drugs, and I am abusing more than I'm supposed to be taking. And the way he describes it is my body needs it because I've been on it for so long. He described it better.
I agree with him. And I think I've said, I can go get the tapes and play it to you. I've said, I don't think you're like some drug addict out, getting illegal drugs in the alley. That's the problem today. You don't have to do that. I've said you are addicted to prescription drugs that you are getting from a licensed physician. Mm-hmm. Now, I know you've bought them before, not from a licensed physician, or at least you said you have. But you get them from a licensed physician. You get them off the internet, for God's sakes. I mean, that's the problem today, is people can get these things too easily. So, okay. I know you're addicted to these drugs.
You've said that quite a few times. I hear you. I've heard you. I'm listening.
And I know how to get you off of them. And when you're ready to do that, then I'll help you do that.
Okay.
But it has to be your call.
Exactly.
And I'm not trying to make you do it, am I?
No, but you said it like almost the entire time that we've been here, and like I'm really tired of just talking about that.
Well, the reason I keep talking about it is because you fail to acknowledge it. If you'd ever
I do acknowledge it. I know. Trust me, I know.
You know what?
I know at the end of the day that I need these. I understand that. I do. And I don't need everybody every time I go somewhere to be like, it gets a little old.
I usually say things until the light bulb comes on where I at least see that somebody gets it. But this has derailed your life. It's derailed your life. You have 3 kids that aren't with you. And
I really don't want to go there.
And there's not much chance of getting them back till you get healthy.
Right, okay.
Why don't you want to go there?
Because I thought this was talking about my back and my pain, not continuing to talk about my medication and what I'm on and where it's taking me. I don't want to talk about that. I'd like to talk about positive things.
I'm trying to get as positive as I can. It's all rolled in together, Alex.
And I understand that. Trust me, I get that. I don't need anybody else to point that out to me. I really don't.
The only positive things that we have to talk about is getting you returned to health. And when you are returned to health, then education, career, and all of those things help them, but you got to get returned to health. Well, you can be defensive about it, but you know I'm right.
Okay.
Coming up. I am not able to get a lot of cash. I might be able to get...
Okay, then I'm done. That really is... I am not a crackhead, and that's how you're treating me.
That's not true, but I will call you back. All right?
You have 30 minutes.
We now return to the Dr. Phil family. Alexandra in danger.
I'm wanting to change your momentum.
This is really hard for me to watch because Alexandra is a beautiful, articulate young woman.
If you would have a hard time stopping it and you know it, then you're going to tell your doctor that.
Yes, absolutely.
She's lying. Of course, everybody thought, again, I was being the evil mother.
Are they going to test it for drugs?
It was the baby's life that was important. Her son had to be on morphine for 4 weeks, and his withdrawal was extremely severe. She didn't take the hydrocodone right after her car accident. She didn't start taking all this crap until she hooked up with Tony 6 months later. And that's when she started snorting it, because she said, it doesn't say how to take it on the bottle, Mom.
When we found out Alex had been panhandling and living out of her truck, we arranged a safe place for her to stay. But all along, we've refused Alex's request for cash. After she returned home, she reached out to one of our producers, Beth. Here's what happened.
I'm sorry, what are you doing tomorrow? You're getting your truck fixed? What's wrong with your truck?
Dad is a mechanic, and I gotta pay his dad, and that's what I was kind of depending on.
I'm able to get gift cards approved. I am not able to get a lot of cash. I might be able to get...
Okay, then I'm done, Dad. I'm done. That really is...
I am offering to help you. You just don't want the type of help that I'm offering.
I don't want gift cards. I don't want
It's
that.
as good as money, Alex.
If I'm the gas station I land at, I don't want to have to call and ask for a gift card. That's... I am not a crackhead, and that's how you're treating me.
I'm not treating you like a crackhead.
You don't give a crackhead cash. You give them freaking gift cards. That's exactly how you treat a crackhead. Okay? And I am not a crackhead. I'm a freaking person, and you don't see that. I asked you for a little bit of cash so I can get through the week, so I can get out of this hotel room and maybe go do something fun. My time is important too, damn it.
Alex, honestly, can you please speak nicer to me?
I'm tired of waiting on everybody else. I'm important too, and nobody else sees that.
That's not true, but I will call you back. All right?
You have 30 minutes.
As I've said, while we've been willing to afford Alex some opportunities to stay safe and have a roof over her head, we have denied her request for cash because I was simply afraid that it was going to be used for drugs, and I am not going to enable her in that way. Well, shortly after, she went missing, and she stopped returning our calls entirely. Now, I had told Alex, as long as you and I are communicating, I'll communicate just with you. When she cut off the communications, then it's a new day, it's a new deal. And I felt like because she had gone off the radar, I needed to alert her family. So I decided to call and speak with her mother, Erin.
Hello?
Erin, it's Dr. Phil.
Hi, Dr. Phil.
Now, what we've said to Alexandra along the way is, look, we want to help you, and we define help as keeping you safe and with shelter. What we have not done is agreed to give her cash.
Right, and that's what she's mad about.
Our fear is to do that is enabling her, and she will take that and spend it on drugs. She's called up in a panic saying, oh my gosh, I need money for truck repairs. And we'd say, hey, listen, no problem. We'll have one of our Florida staff members come over, get you, take you there, pay directly. No, don't want that. I'm not a child. You're treating me like a child. Then she'll come back and say, well, I'm in withdrawal and I need cash to get the drugs, and it's only to help me. This is just for my pain. Sorry.
Right.
So then she calls and says, well, you know what? I need money. I need cash because I owe money to some not very nice people, and I'm in trouble if I don't pay them. To which we said, no, we're not going to give you money to pay a drug dealer. Listen, let's be honest here. This is a disease. It has a powerful grip over her, and she is deathly afraid of not having access to her next fix.
And I get that. Dr. Phil, my mother died from alcoholism at the age of 60.
I don't want to see that happen to Alexandra at 60 or any other age.
Coming up.
I really, in my gut feeling, I think Alexandra has stooped to some really, really low levels with Tony as far as what's going on in that hotel room in her desperation to get drugs.
My fear is that she could die before we can get to her.
We now return to the Dr. Phil family. Alexandra in danger.
I wish I could grab her by the scruff of the neck and kidnap her to rehab, but that's just simply not possible.
Marty and I have taken the same approach you have, Dr. Phil. She wanted the cash. We said, no, we will go and do this, but we will not give you money. And she was very angry.
She has quit her dialogue with us at this point, one of many times. We do believe she will come around. She will reach out to Beth. She's going to have to get desperate. She's going to call, and she's going to run out of meds and have no money to even get them from a doctor. She's going to be in withdrawal. She's going to say, help me, help me, help me. And the answer to that is going to be, we will put you on an airplane and escort you out here and put you in the proper medical treatment facility. But we're not going to continue to listen to your hollow promises. We're not going to play a charade of you're too busy with school, et cetera, et cetera. What I fear is that she's going to have a car wreck or drive under the influence or have some kind of a problem before we can get her to safety.
Dr. Phil, I have to tell you that I think that I really, in my gut feeling, I think Alexandra has stooped to some really, really low levels with Tony as far as what's going on in that hotel room in her desperation to get anything, to get money, to get drugs. And I think she's sold her truck, and I don't mean to seem so calloused. It's just heartbreaking, and I can't give my emotional energy to Alexandra anymore. Does that make sense?
Well, it does make sense, but I think we're coming up to a fork in the road here. My fear is that she could die before we can get to her.
Do you think that we should try to do an intervention, an official intervention with her? Would that have any impact with her?
I think she is very savvy, and I think she is very resistant, and I think there is going to be a moment in time where she is vulnerable and will respond, and I believe that will be probably with her father.
And I agree with you.
But unfortunately, I have to tell you, Dr. Phil, Marty is in some serious denial.
I talk to her on the phone. She always seems like she's plugged in with me, okay? Our kid is never around us acting all whacked out on drugs. She always looks presentable. She's clean. Maybe I'm living in denial, but if I see needle marks on her arms, I don't see any of that.
No, she smokes it.
Well, I'd rather she smoked it than injected.
It's very hard for him to get his head around the fact that Alexandra is where she is right now. He knows it, but he doesn't want to believe it. Does that make sense?
Well, it does, and I don't want to put this on Marty in terms of him having her life in his hands. Her life is in her hands. If there is any influence that you can bring to bear, if there's any influence that Marty can bring to bear, if there is anybody that can get her ear and get her here, we have top-of-the-line treatment ready for her if she will just walk through the door.
Just got off the phone with Dr. Phil, and he really thinks that the best gift that you can give to Alexandra is to really help her to understand that she should return to LA and follow with the program that Dr. Phil has planned for her.
I'll definitely give her a call and see what's going on.
I feel like you might be a little nervous about what you're going to say.
Well, of course I am.
Whatever it is that you say to her, I know you're going to speak from your heart, and it's going to be the right thing. And that's all we can do, okay, is just put it out there. All right?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be all right. You're a good dad.
Communication with Alex came to a complete halt. Nobody knew where she was, who she was with, or if she was all right. Her phone kept going straight to voicemail, and her family started getting very concerned.
Guess I am nervous. Hey, sweetie, it's your dad. Give me a call, will you? It's Sunday about 1:30. Man, went straight to voicemail. Just want to see what you're up to. I love you. Bye. Well, it's the third time I've tried to get a hold of her. Hey, Alexandra's dad. Trying to get a hold of you. Give me a call, babe. Bye. I think that's number 5. Hi, babe. It's your dad. I've been trying to call you all afternoon, see how you are. You're beginning to really worry me. I don't know why your phone's off, but give me a call. You know the number. I love you. Call me. Bye. This is about the 7th time I've tried to call Alexandra today. We're actually just right up the street from the mobile home she could be staying in. It's just really sad that she's in this kind of environment. It's time that something be done soon.
We are staying on top of this. We are going to put up a fight to save Alex from herself. Because I want people to believe it's never too late to change, and it is not ever too late to change. Now, a lot of you have been very vocal on the Dr. Phil message boards, and I want you to continue to let me know what you think. Plus, Erin has rejoined the Dr. Phil community, to be sure to log in and read more about what she's going through during this difficult time. As I've said, we're not interested in giving Alexandra any cash because we are just worried about where it might go. But we are trying to help her in other ways, and so I gave her a $500 gas gift card so she at least doesn't have an excuse to not go see her children. So I want to thank the folks at Shell. They're very generous, so let me just say thanks to Shell nitrogen-enriched gasolines, which help protect your engine for performance-robbing gunk, for this gift card to Alexandra. I hope she uses it for the right reasons. We'll see you next time.
Today on an all-new Dr. Phil.
My husband's jealousy and paranoia has taken over him.
Behind their marriage.
Are you out of control with your jealousy?
Sometimes I am. I don't trust my wife.
Beneath the surface.
You put a recording device under her pillow. You put a tracking device on her car. You check her underwear. Do you need to catch her cheating to prove yourself right?
Yeah, I am looking at concrete evidence.
Lies an ugly truth.
Did you tell her not to do that crying and sobbing thing that she does?
No, I just asked her to try not to get too emotional.
He doesn't like it when I cry because he knows that he really hurts me.
Consumed by jealousy.
There's this evil, controlling trust issue that he has. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore.
This is going to be a changing day in your life.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
If it matters to you, that's what I want to talk about. Are we ready in the booth? Let's do it.
Go, Dr. Phil.
What if you don't have any evidence that your partner might be cheating? I mean, you got nothing. But yet jealousy consumes your every thought. Now, my first guest says she feels like a prisoner in her own home because her husband's jealousy and even paranoia have taken over every aspect of her life. Now, let's hear from her husband first. This is Mike.
The biggest problem in our marriage is I don't trust my wife. Before we got married, she had told me she had been with 4 men. After we got married, she admitted to having sex with 7 men. I put a voice recorder under my wife's pillow the first time that I thought she had been unfaithful, and I've been trying to catch her ever since. I have the surveillance tape that I have outside the home. I was rewinding the surveillance tape, and I noticed that she was making gestures. It was the 2 of us on the porch, and then somebody was in behind us, off camera's view, and it seemed like she was just trying to get his attention behind my back. I confronted her about it, and she denied it and played it off like it was simple hand gestures. It's a nauseous feeling when you think someone's being unfaithful or not telling you the truth, and just very sickening. It's hard to love somebody you don't trust.
Well, let's hear from his wife, Paula, see what she has to say.
I feel that I have been mentally and emotionally abused for 5.5 years. My husband thinks that I've cheated on him. He just doesn't believe anything I have to say. He makes up crazy, unbelievable stories. I've been called whore, slut, bitch. Jealousy and paranoia has taken over him, and he has accused me of having sex with a neighbor. I have been secretly recorded at night. My husband also checks my mouth at night because I started whispering in my sleep, and he thinks I'm hiding something in my mouth. Sometimes he'll stick his fingers in there just to swab my mouth to see if I'm hiding something. There are times where he has checked my underwear. If I have any stains on it, he will question me about the stains. He has taken my clothes to get tested. My husband does have tracking devices on my car, so he knows where I am at all given times. If I'm taking a long time driving home, if there's extra traffic and I'm 5 minutes late, he will call me and ask me where I'm at. He checks my cell phone on a regular basis, goes through all my emails. I have done 2 polygraph tests. My husband thinks I've passed both lie detector tests. He thinks that I've performed sexual favors to both gentlemen. I am afraid of him more and more every day. I don't know how to help my husband. I don't know if anybody can. I don't know how to function some days. I hate him. Sometimes I wish he was dead. I know it's a bad thing to say. It would just be so much easier for me. You're my last hope.
Okay. Mike, tell me what your hope is for being here today.
Basically, I want to trust her. I've never really caught her in any lie. Well, I've caught her in small lies, but I don't have any concrete evidence that she has been unfaithful. And just the paranoia thought of her being unfaithful, me not being able to prove it, I want to be...
Was there anything in that tape that was not true?
About sleeping with both lie detector or polygraph examiners, that wasn't true.
You don't think she necessarily slept with them,
no.
But you think she manipulated them?
Yeah.
Sexual favors?
I might have mentioned that for the second one, yes, but I didn't really...
Listen, I'm not here to throw you under the bus or you either one, but I can't help you if we're not completely honest about what's going on here. If you, because I think you think that sometimes you're over the top with this.
Yes.
Are you out of control with your jealousy?
Sometimes I am, yeah, and it's not a comfortable feeling. I don't enjoy it, and yeah, I feel guilty treating her that way because I do love her, and
Do you think she's cheating on you?
I think she has in the past, yeah.
Since you've been married?
Yes.
Are you okay for her to speak openly and freely here today?
Yes, I am.
Did you tell her not to do that crying and sobbing thing that she does at the shoot yesterday? Did you tell her not to be pulling that stuff up here?
No, I just asked her to try not to get too emotional. When she gets emotional, I get emotional myself.
What would he tell you?
He doesn't like it when I cry because I think he knows that he really hurts me, and he sees the hurt that way, and he doesn't want to see it. He doesn't want to see the hurt.
You put a recording device under her pillow?
Under my pillow, yes.
Under the pillow so you could record if she, talked in her sleep?
Or talked on the phone, yes.
Or if you were asleep and she got on the phone?
Yes.
Because you think she wouldn't get out of bed to do that? Because she might wake you up?
Maybe, yeah.
Well, no, I'm trying to understand. Seriously, you think she would...
I had actually left the house. I was out, so I had left it on, yes.
I see. So you'd leave it on when you were gone?
Yes.
So you could pick her if she was laying in bed talking to some guy?
Yes, sir.
What'd you find on there?
I didn't find anything conclusive. I thought I heard something, but... I don't know. I can't make out what it was on the tape.
Okay. You put a tracking device on her car?
On my vehicle, yes.
When she drives?
Yes.
Did you find her going anywhere she
never
wasn't supposed to go? You check her underwear sometimes?
I had done that in the past. That was like 4 or 5 years ago. I haven't done that in quite some time.
What were you checking for in her mouth when you put your fingers in her mouth?
Because she puts her hands to her mouth while she's sleeping in her ear, and I thought maybe she had put something in her mouth, so I'd asked her to see.
What would it be?
I have no idea.
Because I've heard it all, but that's a new, I had not heard about, what would it be, like a pill, you mean, or a...
I'm not sure if it's a listening device or something. I don't know. I don't know what it was.
A listening device?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, I understand. That's why you were checking. If you were sure, you wouldn't be checking. Yeah. Do you put anything in your mouth?
No.
Do you own any listening devices?
No.
You think she has cheated on you since you got married? Have you called her names? She said you've called her names.
Yeah, when we're arguing, I have called her names.
In anger?
Yes.
What have you called her?
I've called her liar, a slut, a bitch. She's very vocal with me as well. So.
Right. Yeah, I understand. Is that, but that's not really how you feel about her?
No.
Because if you really thought she was of bad morality and ill repute, you wouldn't be with her, right?
Absolutely not, no.
Are you keeping her a prisoner in her own home?
I try not to. She's allowed to go out wherever she likes. I never tell her she can't go out. I actually tell her to go out with girlfriends and go to the movies or the show. Or I have a weird feeling that she's been unfaithful, and that's why.
Okay, but here's the question. Are you keeping your wife prisoner in her own home?
I'm not quite sure I understand what you're asking.
Are you the gatekeeper? Does she have to get your permission? Because it's like...
You can ask her. She doesn't have to give my permission to go out.
Do you feel like a prisoner?
Depends on the day that we're having. I mean, I pretty much just take the children and go wherever as long as I have the kids with me. I know
that's your safety zone?
That's my safety zone.
Are you afraid to say things in front of him for fear that he's going to retaliate against you later? We got to be honest here. I'm just asking.
No, I mean, I used to.
Because you seem to really be waffling. When there are things that you've told us without equivocation, and I ask you about them now, and you go, well, kind of.
No, I'm very vocal now. I don't stand down. I speak whatever I want to say. I tell him how I feel.
Does he intimidate you?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes I'm scared. Sometimes I'm scared that his thoughts are going to take control. The brain is very powerful. Sometimes I'm frightened.
What do you think he might do?
Well, he said things that he would do if he ever caught me cheating on him.
Knows what?
He said he would skin me alive if he ever caught me cheating, if he ever found proof.
I said I would skin him alive, not you.
Well, we don't want to be skinning it.
No. I just get very frustrated, Dr. Phil.
We don't want to be talking about, and I know you say things in anger, but
I don't mean that.
It's a short step from thought to word and a short step from word to deed.
I understand.
And here's the thing. You're quite right. The brain is a very powerful thing. And if you became convinced that she had done something inappropriate, and you had rehearsed in your mind how you were going to react if that had happened, and you believed to the core of your soul that you had that proof and data, then you could behave in a really destructive way. And I don't want you playing that game in your head. I want you to stop doing that because I don't want anything bad to happen to either one of y'all. You hurt her or someone else, both of your lives can be destroyed. We don't want to play that game. You need to stop allowing yourself to go there in your thinking. I'm trying to help you here.
I understand.
Now, Mike has surveillance video, and he says it proves that his wife was flirting. Now, I've seen that tape. You didn't want us to show it here for some reason, but you allowed for me to see that.
Yes, I did.
And I've studied it very carefully, and I'm going to tell you honestly what I think. We'll be right back. It's driving you crazy. She's looking for some relief.
I don't want to do this anymore. It's so hard, I don't even understand it.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil. To her stepmother, she's devious.
My husband's daughter, Madison, is out of control.
To her mother, she's defiant.
I know I've made mistakes with Madison. She wanted to get away from you.
To her father, she's a beast.
You asked him twice if she could live with him.
It was always the wrong time.
We got to be honest here. A child's life hangs in the balance.
Then on Thursday,
3 ladies, men, you're not interested in a relationship, you're going with sex.
Yes.
Are about to be played.
The second I walked in that room, I was thinking, what the hell did I get myself into?
That's Thursday.
He has called me an nymphomaniac in disguise. He just thinks I want sex from anybody. Mike has slept with 1,000 to 2,000 women. I am having sex with him every other day. Prior to that, it was pretty much almost every day.
Well, I'm here with Mike. He's 37. He is a jealous husband by his own description. He doesn't trust his wife, and he's told her, don't ever lie to me. Not to embarrass you here, but I mean, across time, how many men did you tell him that you had been intimate with?
I told him that I had been intimate with 4.
Okay, and in fact, it was a few more than that?
Yes.
Three more, 2, 3 more?
Yes.
Okay. But my point is, it was before you were married?
Yes.
Okay. Now, were you a virgin when you got married?
No, sir.
How many women had you had sex with?
I'm not really sure how many women.
Well, guess. I mean, give me a range. I don't know.
It's been in the hundreds.
Hundreds?
I believe so, yes.
So that's a lot.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the pot calling the kettle black, right?
Yes, I guess so.
I mean, you were upset that she had a span where she was with a handful of men, and you say it's hundreds? How many would you say?
Oh, I would say about 1,000.
1,000 women?
I don't know. I wasn't there, so it's just what I hear.
Yeah. You gave me a surveillance tape to look at. And I had 2 reactions to that. At first, I was very troubled by it because that was you sitting on the porch with her, right?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Well, I misread the transmittal memo to me when I got this, and I thought that the person that you were suspect of was the person sitting on the porch with her.
Oh, no.
And so I'm reading your body language with this guy you're sitting on the porch with, and I'm thinking, yeah, she's flirting with him. I'm looking at her body language towards this person on the porch with her, and I say, you know, that's a little gamey. She's kind of flirting with this guy. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to call it as I see it. Then I'm talking to the producer. They said, no, that's her husband on the porch. I thought, oh, thank God. Because you were obviously you were happy to be with you. She was happy to be with you. Then I'm told at 2 minutes and 24 seconds into the tape that there are gestures that you take as her flipping you off and flirting behind your back with the neighbor.
Yes, sir.
Well, do you want to know what I think about that?
Yes, sir, please.
I think that there is no rational person that could conclude that she was behind your back flirting with the neighbor. 93% of all communication is nonverbal. 7% is what you say. 93% is your body language, your facial tones, voice intonation, spacing, body language. I am a student of this. I used to make my living doing this. I was a jury specialist that read juries and tried to predict what people were thinking, saying, and doing. It is my job. It is my work. There's no way this woman was flirting with your neighbor on the tape. Not even almost, sort of, kind of, maybe, no how, no way.
Okay.
In my opinion. What do you think about what I'm saying?
I only see it from my perspective, and I appreciate the fact that you looked at it and analyzed it. And
But you know what else I do? I spend at least half of my time hearing what isn't said. I read between the lines. I look for omissions. I look for nonverbals. And what you didn't say was, oh, thank God. I'm so relieved. I'm so happy to hear that you didn't see that. And I'm sorry that I suspected you of that. If I thought that my wife was flirting with somebody and someone credible knew what they were doing, and I thought that they were reliable and credible, and they told me didn't happen, wouldn't you be relieved? I mean, wouldn't you just be like, oh, that's a load off? But you were, well, okay, I got my point of view. Do you want to catch her cheating?
I think
Do you need to catch her cheating to prove yourself right?
I think sometimes I've been adamant in trying to catch her that I don't really realize what I'm doing. Like I just keep looking for more.
Do you think I'm telling you the truth?
I believe you are.
Your enthusiasm was underwhelming. No, seriously, do you think she's gotten to me?
No.
You think I'm covering for her in some way?
No, I do not.
But I'm telling you the truth as I see it. Okay, now, because you didn't get the results of the 2 polygraphs before, and because you think she manipulated those polygraph operators, you actually made a request to us to repeat a polygraph, and you wanted a woman in the room.
Yes, she had actually said she would take the polygraph test, and I said that if somebody else was in the room with her, then that way I could believe the results, yes.
Right. We've done that, and I have the results right here. I haven't seen them. I've read these, but we have them right here. You and I are going to find this out together. But you need to understand that I think that this doesn't have anything to do with how you're going to feel. Because I think what you're feeling is coming from the inside out, not the outside in. I'm going to explain what I mean by that. And we're going to find out what's in this envelope when we come back. You knew exactly what you were. You have no excuses. So whatever these results are, you're not going to come with some excuse, well, I didn't know what it meant.
No.
Question number 1. During your marriage, have you ever had sexual contact with anyone other than your husband? And you answered...
The first lie detector test was performed in my home, and Mike was upstairs the whole entire time. The individual performing the lie detector test kept telling him not to listen to it because it would disrupt the whole lie detector results. The polygraph guy asked, have you ever been molested? He claims that he heard him say, you shouldn't have told me that.
I think he felt sorry for her a little bit, so then I'd asked to see the results of the test, and he wouldn't show them to me. I paid him, and he wouldn't show me the results. Yeah, I am looking for some concrete evidence. I don't want to destroy my family for something that's not true.
I'm here with Mike and Paula. Mike wants concrete evidence on his wife. She is suspected of infidelity. It is hard to prove a negative. It's hard to prove you didn't do something. Now, Paula has offered to take not 1, but 2, now a 3rd lie detector test to prove she is very faithful to Mike and has not cheated on him. Now, in your defense, you didn't get direct results of the first 2 polygraphs.
No, I did not.
So you're a little bit in the dark there, but you told him that you passed.
Yes.
Now, on the first test, Mike says that she told the instructor that she had been raped, and the instructor, and I guess by that you mean the examiner, said, well, I wish you hadn't told me that, felt bad for you. So he wouldn't even show you the test results, right? Even though you're the one that was paying him.
Yes, sir.
And did that exchange take place?
I've never done a polygraph test. He was just asking me questions and I was answering.
But I mean, y'all did talk about that
yes.
occurrence. And by the way, I don't want to blow by that. I'm very sorry. And I make no apology for you telling you. I'm very sorry that you've been violated.
Yeah.
I hate that for you, and I'm very sorry. Now, the second test, the polygrapher wouldn't show Mike the test results either. He only gave you a piece of paper that said 99.9% truthful.
Yes.
But you still didn't believe that. Are you qualified to read?
No, sir, I'm not.
Well, let's get to this. You took a polygraph, and frankly, I said, look, I'll do it if I thought there was even a 1% chance that it might help the situation. But frankly, I think you're not responding to data. I think you're not responding to evidence. I think you're not responding to reality. I think this is coming from inside you. You're convincing yourself that this is true because you fear it so badly. Now, let me be very clear with you. Was this a fair test?
Yes.
You don't think you were set up in any way?
No.
Whatever. You live by these results?
Yes.
This is Jack Tremarco. He is a former polygraph unit chief for the FBI, and in my opinion is the top polygraph operator on the globe. So is there anything that you want to ask him?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, he defined the terms for you. You knew exactly what you were. You have no excuses.
No.
And we had an observer in the room.
We had an observer in the beginning.
Right.
And then I asked her to leave.
Of course.
Because the protocol is that there will be no one else in the room. Of course. But I did videotape everything.
In the interview, when all this information she's giving, you had someone there observing.
In the beginning, yes.
Right. But you felt like it was fair.
Yes.
So whatever these results are, you're not going to come with some excuse, well, I didn't know what it meant.
No.
Okay. I have the results in the envelope. Question number 1. During your marriage, have you ever had sexual contact with anyone other than your husband? And you answered?
No.
And the test showed that that was non-deceptive. You told the truth that during your marriage you have never had sexual contact with anyone other than your husband. Question number 2. Since your wedding day, have you ever had sexual contact with anyone other than your husband? Your answer?
No.
The test showed that that was non-deceptive, that she told the truth to both of those questions, that since you've been married, she has never had even sexual contact with another person. Was this a close call?
This was probably the most definitive exam I've done for your show, Doctor. She was non-deceptive, going away.
Because in order to pass this, I say pass, I know you don't like to use that term, but in order to come out with a clear indication of truthfulness, she would have to, on this scale, score a 4.
+4 to the relevant questions, right.
+4 to the relevant questions. And +5 would be huge.
It's better.
+6 would be better.
And that's better.
7, 8 would be better. Where does she score?
I scored them +12.
+12. What'd you want to say?
I'm sorry, and I want to get some help, just so I can learn how to trust you.
I feel numb sometimes, and I feel like I'm just on autopilot. And it's just go, 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 and hope one day that something will change. Dr. Phil, it's so hard because people look at me and ask me, how do you stay? But it's like I'm looking at two different people. Split personality. There's one guy who's amazing and sensitive and caring and wonderful. And then there's this evil, controlling, obsessed trust issue that he has. It's so hard, I don't even understand it.
You want the one guy, but not the other.
No, I don't want. I only want the one guy. I want the other one to go away.
It's driving you crazy. There comes a point where your intellect has to overcome your emotion. You got listening devices planted in your bedroom. You've heard nothing. You got a tracking device on the car. You have found nothing. You gave me a surveillance tape that showed not one thing, even almost kind of even remotely close to subtle or otherwise flirtation. You've never found one piece of evidence. We have now brought you the top polygrapher to sit down with her with an observer to negate any potential manipulation. She didn't kind of pass. She didn't kind of squeak by. She knocked it out of the park. She knocked it out of the stadium. She knocked it over the parking lot. There is not one shred of evidence that this woman has been anything other than devoted to you. And the fact that she has put up with everything that you have heaped on her, unjustly accusing her, should speak volumes to you about who this woman is and how devoted to you she is.
I know that, and that's why after this show I want to get help and start apologizing for everything I've done.
If I get you some help, will you seriously take it?
Yes, I will.
Because you have to understand, this voice in your head is going to come back and try to find holes in this. But the truth is, it would be a whole lot better drama if we caught her cheating, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would.
Because then you could be saying, see, damn harlot. I mean, wow, how great would that be for drama? It's really anticlimactic when you find out that the girl's a straight shooter and obviously loves you a lot.
Yeah, we need the help.
And you want to get your game together, or she won't cheat on you. She'll look you straight up in the eye and say, I'm not going to put up with this anymore.
I'm getting really close. I don't want to do this anymore.
She's looking for some relief.
I don't want to do this anymore.
You willing to get this help?
Yes.
Are you willing to give him a chance to have the help?
I'm willing to give him, I'm willing to stand by his side as long as he's willing and puts 110% effort. But yes, there's a lot of hate and anger right now. And it's a wound that's going to take time to heal, and he's got to understand that too.
Yeah, what she's telling you is you're the one who ran this off in the ditch. And you got a lot of cleaning up to do.
I know that.
But we'll work on it. Okay? Okay, when we come back, we're going to talk to a wife who goes to extremes to check up on her husband, and I want you to listen to this. I want you to sit down here and listen to this, because sometimes you can see things in other people that it's hard to see in yourself. He swears he's done nothing wrong. So why is his wife so obsessively convinced to the contrary? We'll see what she has to say when we come back.
Hell yeah, I'm a jealous person. I check his wallet, check his pants, check the car, check his cell phone.
It's very, very frustrating.
All right, Tara checks her husband's cell phone, wallet, pants, pockets, dog walking route, and just anywhere that he might be going. Now, Andrew says she drills down on him for hours at a time if he even mentions another woman in passing.
Where did he go today? What time was that? Hell yeah, I'm a jealous person. To make sure that Andy isn't cheating, I check his wallet, check his pants, check the car, check his cell phone. It's calling my name and I gotta pick it up and look at it and go through it.
When Tara makes these accusations, it's very, very frustrating.
When Andy brings up a woman in a conversation, I just get a panic feeling and then I'll Google her so I can find out whether she's a threat to me or not. When Andy is away from me, I can make up scenarios that he could possibly meet someone.
When I'm late from work, Tara will ask me, where are you at? What are you doing? Why are you late? It is a drill.
I was suspicious that he might be going to visit this girl that just moved into the neighborhood, and so I drove around looking for him.
I'm walking down the street and Tara pulls up in the car. What are you doing? Where are you going?
And I did find him. He was not at her house.
I am not doing anything to jeopardize my marriage.
Being a detective because of my jealousy is extremely exhausting. I'm wasting my life chasing something that's not even a reality. I'm afraid that our marriage will just get worse and turn into a big hot mess.
Andrew, you guys have been sitting in the audience listening to me talk to Mike and Paula. What'd you think about that conversation? Did you see yourself in him?
I don't think I'm that extreme.
Really?
As extreme as that.
So on a 1 to 10, if he was the 10, where would you put yourself?
Probably a 6.
So, Andy, where would you put her on that scale?
Is there a polygraph associated with this? It all depends. It could range from what she's saying, a 6. It could go 7. It could go 7.5.
Why do you put up with it?
Love her. I mean, it's a marriage. It's.
But you teach people how to treat you, and because, listen, have you ever heard that old saying, what I fear, I create? What's that mean to you? What I fear, I create.
That if I keep doing this, I'll eventually push him to do it.
Is there any other outcome? Let me tell you something about men. At some point, they're going to say, you know what? I'm getting credit for it. Hell, I might as well do it. I mean, there's a point at which that can transpire, and you can go, see, I was right all along.
Yeah.
You said she called you 6 to 8 times while you were inside a haunted house for 10 minutes with your son?
20, 25 minutes, but yeah.
What do you think, he's going to do a zombie or something? What do you...
No zombies in my life there.
Seriously? He's in a haunted house with your son and you're tracking him?
Yeah.
I'm asking because I'm trying to point out to you, sometimes when you hear it back to you, it seems like a good idea when you're thinking it and doing it, but when you hear somebody else say it, you see it on tape, sometimes you can go, wow, that's me. I need to ratchet this down.
Yeah.
Why do you think you do this?
I think I'm insecure. I think that, you know, every day I hear from a friend of a friend that was cheated on, or you turn on the TV and you see it in the media, and it's almost what men do. And I think I just wonder why I'm the one that got lucky. What's so special about me that he won't cheat on me?
Okay, well, I've got what I think is a pivotal question for you when we come back. And we're going to hear what Tara's children have to say about Mommy's behavior as well. We'll be right back.
The kids are aware of my jealousy. My stepsons say that I have a leash on their dad.
Tara got me a yellow shirt, and my son spouted out, yeah, you'll be able to see Dad all the way down the street. You can track him.
My daughter has said that you're acting crazy. He's not doing anything. I don't want my daughter to have the same kind of phobias or paranoia.
You clearly live in fear of being cheated on, right? Yeah. Because you've said, I don't want to look like a fool. And that really scares you, doesn't it?
Oh, I'm terrified of it.
Why does that scare you, to be made to look like a fool?
Because it would make my life seem like it was a complete lie. Okay. Like everything that I thought to believe would be true would not be if he were to be cheating on me.
Okay, you're playing the what-if game. That's a very anxiety-inducing sort of game, but it's okay to play what-if as long as we play it out to the end. Okay, so what if he cheats on you?
Then my family will be broken apart.
Okay, then what?
And then I guess I'd have to carry on and try to get over it.
Or you're saying that if he cheated on you, it would be painful, it would hurt, but you would cope, get over it, and go on with your life? Seriously, what's so horrible about that? That you spend every day consumed with what I call anticipatory anxiety. You have more pain worrying about it than you would have if he did it.
Definitely.
Don't you?
Yes.
I mean, it's like he's cheated on you every day of your marriage because you have that fear every day of your marriage. If he did it, it would just be one day and it'd be over.
Yeah, I mean, it's miserable.
Okay, but,
trying to do this.
But do you understand what I'm saying? You just played the what-if game. What if he cheats? Well, my whole life would be a lie. Actually, that's not true. That's just catastrophic language you like to say because it's dramatic. Your whole life wouldn't be a lie. You would still be you. Your kids would still be them. Your house would still be where it was. You would still have everything that you thought, except that he was with Susie Q instead of at the grocery store. Other than that, your whole life would not be a lie. But is it as catastrophic as you make it out to be?
No, when I'm sitting here, it's not. But when I'm at home and in my own environment.
Well, but I'm having this conversation so you can have it again when you're at home. Because what I'm telling you here is that you have choices to make. Because what's happening is you have this fear every day. And you check on him, and when you find him doing what he's supposed to be doing, it gives you relief for the moment. It's like a drug addict getting a fix. Anxiety, anxiety, anxiety. He's at the store. And you feel good for a few minutes. But what if he doesn't come straight home? What if he goes by her house? What if he's talking to her on the way home? Well, who is she? I don't know, but it could be somebody. And so you go through this whole thing, and it builds up, and it builds up, and it builds up again. So he gets home, and he gets in the shower, and you get his cell phone, and you check it out, and you go, nope, nobody.
I know, and it's exhausting.
You're getting a fix every time, and you need to wean yourself off of it just like you would off of a drug. And it's probably going to take some help for you to do that, but I'm trying to give you a wake-up call. This is about you. It's not about Andrew. He didn't do anything. Does it make sense?
It does. It does.
Okay. All right, we'll be right back. I want to thank all of my guests today. I know it's hard to come on and talk about this, but you feel like we're headed in the right direction here?
Yes.
And do you, Paula?
Yes.
All right, good. And how about you, Tara?
Yeah.
Has this helped you so far?
Oh, yeah. The whole experience has been amazing. It really has.
What's helped you about this?
Just seeing myself on the screen doing those things, it's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. And just the fact that he came on the show with me is proof enough that he loves me and he's in this for the long haul, and I need to quit worrying.
Yeah, but there's a lot you got to do about it. Your brain can get trapped in here, but the boy came to the Dr. Phil show.
I know.
This ought to be a really good night. Also, a special thanks to Jack Tremarco. His website is jacktremarco.com. And I really appreciate you weighing in and helping us out here, Jack. And we have a great time in the studio audience. If you're going to be in the L.A. area, we would love to have you. The tickets are free. Go to drphil.com. You can click on Be in the Audience. Check out drphil.com and our jealousy test to see how you do on there. Because as Tara's saying, sometimes you don't recognize it. Thanks for being here. So long.